don't like how this flame ball is set up. Maybe like that. There we go. Shoomp. So it looks like he's shooting out the flame, kind of. I'll fix that later, I guess. It's not really a big priority at the moment. How you doing, Andrea? How are you? Can't really see the screen that well. Oh gosh, that's not good. I turn off the light. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. How you doing, Meeks? So did you guys see the Legend Z? Surprisingly, not gonna lie, it looks kind of cool. However, it also looks kind of dog shit. Not gonna lie. It has such potential. It has potential to be like a top tier game, like Legends Arceus, which is near top tier. But honestly, it looks like it's gonna fucking flop. Yeah, exactly. Like Oreo says, it looks like it's gonna fucking flop because it seems like it's only in the city, and it's in the future. Which I know they said that at the beginning, but like I was kind of hoping they would have it change a bit. And I kind of think the new combat system seems like it could be okay, but I don't like the idea of having to be in range of Pokemon. Because you have to like worry about moving yourself, but also the Pokemon being smart enough to move to some extent. Like I bet there's a feature to make it to where it seems a little confusing, a little awkward. It looks like a fumble. But I will say like there's certain aspects that look good. Megas are back. Last night I was really bitching and moaning how I want Megas so bad to come back, which I was thinking they probably would with this. But there's so much. I'm so scared because once again, it looks like it's gonna be like Sword and Shield, or not Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet. I'm still on Sword and Shield. Like I played so little Scarlet and Violet that I literally call it Sword and Shield still. But it looks like it's gonna be like a or Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet compared to like fucking an Arceus, and I mean that by like how it feels and how it looks. Like when the parkour segment came out, like there's like a bit of lag with it, and like when he jumped off the building, it had that stutter when you use a Pokemon like an Arceus. I believe this also happened in Scarlet and Violet. Like it has like that little stutter for a second, and I hated that. Made it so like unfree flowing. So that was kind of annoying, like really annoying. Not even kind of really annoying. I knew mine, bro. So I'm hoping that like the freestyle will be like, or the parkour aspects will actually be good, because if we're just in a fucking city all day, we want to scale buildings. Like, can we get like Attack on Titan dynamics or something? Like, can we please? So hopefully that doesn't like, you know, fumble it too much. I will say I do love Totodile and Tepig being choices. While Tepig's not my favorite, I've grown to love him over the last like 5 years more and more. So I would love to see what's his new evolutionary or even Mega's going to be. Totodile, I cannot wait to see. Like for Alligator, I kind of hope they make like a new evolution for them for the final form, and then they get a Mega. I would like 2 in 1. That would be the ideal, but more than likely it won't be, because the Pokemon Company kind of scumbags. So it is what it is. So we'll see how that goes. Super happy about Totodile, and I'm still fine because I can find like, you know, shiny hunt Totodile again, because I got him in Sparkle to Silver starters. You know, I've been wanting to get him for a while. So happy about that. Chikorita sucks. I fucking hate Chikorita. No, a lot of people. This was stupid. A lot of people actually love Chikorita, and it's stupid because it's such an ugly Pokemon. And it's because people loved Bailie in the old like show, and there's surprisingly like a large amount of people that love Chikorita. And I hate that Pokemon. Like, when I watched the Chikorita get cut up in that, like, animated video of preparing Pokemon as food, I'm like, yes, finally. Chikorita haters are thriving right now. But, no, I really hate Chikorita, honestly. I think the idea of Meganium's cool. I don't like how it was set up. I feel like if we get a Mega, it could actually make it to where Meganium looks awesome. So I will give him that. I think the idea of Chikorita is cute. But, yeah, I hate Chikorita. Yeah, poor Meeks. I took the store job, so she'll be able to sign next. Nice, awesome. Yeah, that's something I think that would be better for you, because it's, I think you said less hours, kind of, but on top of that, you'll have more free time, so you can do like art and whatnot. Pokemon Champions, I don't play competitive at all. I never will, so I'll never actually play that. Like 99.99% sure I never will. I think the idea of it's kind of cool, but I don't play competitive, so I could care less. I think they rather should have made a hub game like on your app, like on like your phone and the Switch that had you link a ton of the old games together and then linked it to Champions, so I could play the old games. That would have been the ideal. The ideal would have been I paid $60 to get every game released from like Gen 1 through 5, and then eventually implement Gen 6 onwards, and have it linked to like the Switch and that, and then have it to where I could transfer all the stuff and whatnot, because it looks kind of like cool, but it's just like, what is it? Just like a competitive? I kind of skipped through it. It's just like competitive play, right? It can bring up Pokemon from other things, but I don't think that is that. I don't even know. It was confusing, but I kind of skipped past it. I didn't really pay attention to it, honestly. It looked confusing. How you doing, Demon? How are you? If I didn't say hi, like soul click and whatnot, hi. I apologize. I'm just kind of ranting. I think the problem I have with ZA. The problem I have with ZA. Yeah, no, like the moving battles looks really kind of weird, because the idea of it looks cool, because you know in Legends Arceus you jumped around and whatnot, and you even jumped around in battle. If you were actually close to the battle in Legends Arceus, you would get hit. But the idea is, I think, right, like if you were like how they set it up to where like when you toss the thing, you could go in there. Yeah, because you could run away in the middle of a battle too, and like if it wasn't on like the menu, I think, right, or it was like something weird like that. So the point is that like they've had like movement in the battle since Arceus, but I don't like how like certain ones only have a in range, but you have to control your character, now control placement, and I don't know how that can work with the Switch easily, especially with how like janky the Switch like system of like movement is for like the like Joy-Cons. So I don't know how that's gonna work. The big problem I have is that honestly, like Generation 6 had a very deep lore that didn't get fully flushed out and explored, and it was extremely surface level. Like the idea was that the bad guys, you learn that he like he was the son of like one of the ancient like royalty that ushered in like the great power. He went around, realized people just keep asking when you help and they actually don't like add on to anything. And then what ends up happening is essentially he goes, I kind of despise people, and I'm going to use the ultimate weapon to fix this problem. I don't want like unproductive people. That's like Lysander's whole entire idea wrapped up really fast. The whole totality of it though was AZ was a king back then, had a brother. The AZ was kind of like, just like trying to help out everyone. Didn't really work out the way it was. It ended up becoming like this like nepotism type situation, kind of like the rich still benefiting on the rich, which then broke off a faction of AZ's brother, which his brother then made a rebellion against him. So those two continents battling against each other. In this conflict, Floette, his Pokemon, passed away. And so he sacrificed millions of lives to bring it back. Then he still wanted revenge, though, at this point, AZ did. And once Floette realized that, he went, no, peace out, I'm leaving, dude. I'm leaving you. I'm never going to be your friend again. And which I believe at that point, it's kind of like, he started realizing his wrongs. The weapon already happened. And with all that happening, they harvested the energy of Yveltal and Xerneas to activate the core, essentially. I think I remember it, because I'm not too fresh on it. And it caused all those Pokemon, all those grave sites to admit the, after they used the energy, it gave Mega Evolution its possibility, and then also all the grave sites had like residing energy. That's how they're also going to use it to power the core. It's a whole entire complex story. But the point is, it had a very deep, rich, like, story that need to be shown. Like, we have not seen it other than in stills. And instead they're like, let's just do a future. Let's just do the future after X and Y, essentially. It's like, no, you have a whole entire beautiful story. Legends. It's in the fucking name. It's called Legends. Sorry. I'm so angry at that. It makes me, it's called Legends. Talk about the legends of old times. Maybe we'll get into it, but I want to live in that time. That's why it's called Legends Arceus. We went back in time and we live in this. So anyways, that being said, I feel like they're fumbling right now. And now we're seeing the progression of the legend being made of Lumio City. Just call it a stupid fucking game that's not going in the past instead of Legends ZA or AZ or whatever the fuck it's called. But the point is, I feel like this had such potential, and I'm not reading chat, so I apologize. I'm just kind of ranting. This has such potential to be like a top tier game because Arceus was kind of near top tier. It just didn't have because if we put it as because I don't play online competitive, so I could care less. That always ruins the game for me. If anything, kind of like the fact that they cater towards the online competitive play for 99% of all decisions and don't like prioritize story or actual shiny hunters kind of makes it to where like I could care less about competitive. I hope it kind of like dies out type of situation. I'm like salty in that way. I'm bitter. But the point is that like so I don't really care about like competitive play. So if they were to actually put time into like a story, it'd be great. Because it seems that's where they put all their resources is competitive play. So with that being said, a fleshed out story could have been so beautiful for this game, and now it looks like it's like, oh look, you're gonna be in the city for majority of the game, and you're gonna be in the doing these weird zones in the game. Now, maybe they just did that to, lure people in, get people talking, and they'll go, guess what, you actually can go outside. Because the thing with fucking Gen 6, it had so many gorgeous areas. Dude, we had that marsh. Do you remember that was with Phantom and them and Haunter were there? They had that deserty area that was kind of vacant, but it had, like, sandstorms leading to Lysander's, like, underground lab. Oh, my... Dude, there was so many cool areas in that game. Could have brought back the Friend Safari 2 later on, so it had, a reason they could tie that into multiplayer and make shiny hunting really fun. And they're gonna fumble it, and it's heartbreaking. There's a lot of other areas too, an underground area for Zygarde. Some good stuff. The ones that really stuck out was the marsh. So I love that marshy area, and the way they segmented it, they had such potential to be like this could be a top tier game, but it seems like we're only going to be in the city. And they made mini wild areas, which the idea of that's cool. Like I'm gonna say, like the idea of having like wild areas in the city is wicked. Up until you realize it's possibly the only thing. And it's just going to be cityscape. And it's like, I don't like cityscape all the time. I think if we're talking about cities, I want to see Black City from, I think that was called, from Black and White. That was wicked. Those evils, like sinister, like it had like a cool like feeling to it. That was dope. I would love to see that. Will we see that? Probably nothing cool like that. Just seems like Lumios. But then also at the very end, it showed like a little tiny like, the bad guy organization possibly. And it was like in like black and red. And that'd be sweet if it was Team Rocket. I love Team Rocket. I'll always do. If they brought Team Rocket into this gen through that, then I'd be fine. I'd be like, you know what? Who cares about the war? Who cares about the ancient war that was had a lot of rich lore to it? We got Team Rocket again because I am a Team Rocket like mega fan. But when all is said and done, I feel like this game's just gonna kind of like really drop the ball in the fact that it could have been something so much better, which also makes you wonder. They brought the Tepig into it, and Tepig is a Gen 5. And Let's Go brought in Mega Evolutions again. So I'm wondering if the reason why they brought in Tepig was to give him a Mega Evolution at Embor, and then have Let's Go, because there was leaks and rumors that there might be Let's Go Gen 5. So this would actually make it to where they could implement that, because they already have Embor, so now we can make Superior and all the Oshawott, Samurott, which Samurott already got a form in Legends Arceus, as like, so like does it really need it? But the point is, to wrap it all up, it's like there's a chance that they could bring, this is like a little tease for what they could bring, but who knows, would be dope. I'm hoping the shiny hunting's good. I hope like everything's good with this. I think Mega Embor could be pretty cool, but honestly, he kind of already seems like he'd be like a Mega. Like he already seems like he's like already absurd, like in a good way. Like Embor's already like big, bulky. I'm trying to think, like I could see this arms, maybe I feel like what would be like cool, like maybe not the cannons because that's like Magmortar, maybe like hammer like arms, like a how like they have like forging, boom boom boom, that type of crap. His arms turn into like fiery hammers and he turns into a metal fire type. I don't know, he's just a forger now. I don't know, I'm just ball, spitballing. But I'm just gonna see what that comes with Embor, because I don't really know what you could do with that. For Alligator, they could do a lot with him. I wouldn't mind seeing an electric type. Would be crazy, because I used to be electric type in the card game from the Delta species. But ice type would be cool too, water ice or something, which is not unique. But I'd be content. He already has Ice Fang, so it's not like it's far off to. I could see water. What else would be good? Like Ancient Times, but they're gonna be like, this is like future times. So I can't relate on Ancient Times. I'm thinking too much in Scarlet Violet at the moment. But. And honestly, I'm kind of happy from looks at it. We don't have like the future, like the Paradox and Ancient Pokemon. I like the idea of them. I think they were executed horribly. I feel. How you doing, Jarman? How are you, Jet? I didn't see that. I apologize. So I feel like it's one of those things where it's like I'm very half and half on. It has potential, but they're gonna like I think mess up on it. End of the day. How you doing, Ice Cream? How are you? But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to playing it. I just don't know how I feel about the like. I feel like shiny hunting's gonna be kind of weird in it. I hope they fix it from Scarlet and Violet. If there is no sparkles or noise, if there's no noise at least, if there's not a noise at least or sparkle, I'm gonna be. I'm not. I'll play through it, but I won't shiny hunt. I just don't think I can do that again. Scarlet and Violet shiny hunting is like the worst I've ever had playing like a shiny hunting game. It hurts me so bad. Lack of methods, no easy like tell. The Pokemon are so tiny. I like the idea of scaling to like realism, but at the same time, it's like a video game and it's an open world that's massive, and you're not zoomed in too much. So it's like I'm gonna miss things easily. And I think that's the thing where you can like suspend the reality, like the disbelief of it. So don't make like a Cutiefly that's actually to scale. Don't make a Roselia that's actually to scale because they're like this big. Like I don't need that in a game that's not giving me notifications when it's shiny or not. You can be like, well, you could just knock them out. But what if I'm just flying by really fast? And finding a random shiny is like a million times better than your actual hunt half the time. So what if I'm flying past and I don't even see it? I'll never like know. So it's like, not liking it. The future looks older than Luminosa. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like it's weird. It's like set in the future. I'd like it to be an alternative timeline. Also, why is AZ still alive? Is that gonna be him like still alive? I didn't look at the name if it said that was him, AZ, or if it was like actually his name when it showed him. So I don't know. I haven't looked at that. New Revolution Pokemon game on iOS 2 is gonna be wild. Yeah, I've heard. I didn't look into it. I've seen something like that. I didn't look at it. I saw like the chat was going crazy. I only was interested in what's it called? I was only interested in Legends ZA. So I'll go back and look at that and see how it is. I think did Pokemon Pocket get some news? It's gonna be like a new set. Was it like with Arceus or was that like something else? But I looked at Pokemon Masters for a split second. I started playing that kind of again, and that game hurts, dude. It's cool, but it sucks at the same time. It's cash grab. Was Pokemon Soul Silver better than most Pokemon games? I think it's a good game. I don't think it's my favorite is Gen 5, the second release, which is Black and White 2. Those games I think are phenomenal, top tier. I think Heart Gold Silver had tons of moments where it's good, but honestly, like playing through like Johto, I get so bored of it because it's like a lot of backtracking, and like the story's cool, but also it's like kind of slow. And you have to do a lot of backtracking, and it did not get fixed in Heart Gold Silver. Like having to do the radio tower and going to the underground is super annoying. Having to go to underground like what, Mahogany Town? No, not Mahogany Town. It's the one by Lake Rage. There's so many places in like that get annoying, but it does still have the Kanto area. It still have Mount Silver. So like overall for content and being a first of its kind, being Gen 2, and then being revamped and be able to collect legendaries and whatnot, I think it's really good. It's just not my favorite. I think Black and White 2 is like top tier game, most go-to Pokemon game. I think Let's Go is really good too because it's fun to play. It's fun to shiny hunt. Anyone can get into it, and the shiny races are a ton of fun. My tier list like Pokemon games are like so like it's based on shiny hunting only. That's what it comes down to. Because personally, I think Gen 1 and 2 are almost my favorite just because I love Team Rocket. And that will just be because I like the idea of it, I like the style. But I love Team Plasma during the second iteration. The first iteration's decent, I don't like their uniforms, but second iteration's, oh, dude, they're good. Dude, Getsus is so funny. Dude, Getsus is like, I just want to rule Unova. Everyone else, this is my country. I like it. It's a go-to country. It's my country. And then everyone else is like, I'm gonna blow up the world. I'm gonna do world domination. And Getsus is like, I kind of just like Unova. I think I kind of just want to control all of Unova, which I think is fun. And yeah, there's a lot doing Heart Gold Silver, which it's true. So I just don't, and that's why I was like saying like I think it's good because they add so much, especially adding like Unova and whatnot. Not Unova, Kento. To me, it's just like I get kind of bored. Also, the power scaling, just because when a game has a ton of content, it has to power scale a little bit better. And I think they did a decent job with Heart Gold Silver, but at the same time, I could still like grind crazy and out compete everything, which is just a problem in Pokemon because you don't got no dynamic scaling, which I think is also good because I kind of like having the overpowered team. Gen 6 is good too. I think there's tons of shiny hunting methods, got people into shiny hunting. I think Gen 7, I kind of hate Gen 7. It's kind of boring. Really bad story. I think Ultra Beasts are cool. The idea of the story is cool. It's just kind of like really boring and slow and kind of like Oh wow, this is really cool, dude. But I don't really care for Gen 7, Sun and Moon. The islands and the totem Pokemon garbage, biggest like trash ever in my opinion. Like, what's the point of the totem Pokemon? Like, you can't catch them. It's only like what, four of them, just five of them. Stupid, stupid system. Very dumb game. SOS hunting blows. I hate when you had to like look up in the sky. Oh, look at nothing came, so you wasted 10 seconds of your life. That could have been another encounter by random encounters. Bro, I fucking hate Gen 7 so much. I hate it. I can't like. I like the no. I don't think there's something I can say I like about Gen 7. Yeah, no. The Pokemon are cool. Gen 7 had cool Pokemon. Gen 8, what, Sword and Shield? That gen's pretty good. The problem is, I mean by the Pokemon, the game is good and bad. DLC, garbage. I know people love the DLC, garbage. Because if you're a shiny hunter and you multi-hunt, which I do, I had like a lot of switches I'd play, the routes, phenomenal. Fixed camera angle, you got to go back and forth, and it doesn't move. It feels good. The exclamation point hunts were awesome. They brought back wild encounters and gave you a purpose and a target, but you couldn't see what you're going for, and it felt like OG Pokemon, but also being updated. And then the wild area was kind of cool. It wasn't like phenomenal. You had to encounter the Pokemon to see if it was shiny. Everything was already shiny. You just wouldn't know because there was no shiny sprites in the overworld, which I think was good to do. But the camera angle was dog shit. And if you tried to do exclamation points in the wild area, it was the worst experience ever. And it was really bad. And especially if you're multi-hunting, doing at least 2 switches at once, it was god-awful. The fossil hunts were cool, but there's only like, what, 4? That was trash. That was actually really annoying. And that kind of ruined my happiness. Because I got all 4 of them in one day by luck. And then I had no fossil hunts to do. And then later on they had the fossils, but you had to get them through, encounters, which would have been cool. But once again, the overworld is stupid. And it has to, like, you have to, like, the resets. Like, you have to, like, go right before the Pokemon spawns in the overworld, save in front of it before it spawns, reset your game, or go into the, like, have it spawn up and encounter it, then reset your game and do that over and over again. And, like, I wouldn't mind that if I didn't have to, like, move forward so much or ride my bike each time. And, like, it made it to where it was just awkward. So, Sword and Shield they had potential. It just was just, like, not that great. The tree encounters were cool. I got a few shines that way. Or I think I got one, maybe. Masuda method, it was okay. You just went on a big, long bridge. Or in the wild area, which I didn't like because of camera angle. Yeah, I feel like the routes were goated. They were cool. A lot of unique hunts in Sword and Shield. Chain fishing was kind of a thing, but not really. Yeah, I think the strong spawn Pokemon were the big problem it had. It just, like, it could have... I feel like maybe if Sword and Shield brought shinies like Arceus and Scarlet did, it probably would have been better in the long run. The Dynamax adventures were garbage. Dynamax raids were garbage. To get a shiny in them were ridiculous. Well, not the raids, but the first Dynamax was dumb. People exploiting it, devaluing the shinies that were really rare, made it towards, like, why am I even trying to go for the Snorlax event? Why am I going to grind this for a whole entire month straight, like 8+ hours a day, if everyone can get it by cheating? Like, it just kind of ruined the game. Like the lobbies. I did a few lobbies just to help out people, and then, like, of course, get a few views. But really, it's like I didn't really gain nothing. Like, I didn't keep the Pokemon. I was like, this is dumb. And I told them, like, this is dumb. I did it because, like, people kept asking if I could host a lobby, so I did, like, once or twice. And I went, no, I'm not doing this again. This sucks. But yeah, I think overall it just wasn't that great. Sword and Shield Shiny Hunting is good since it's the game I Shiny Hunt the most, and I can get that. I just didn't like how it was set up. I'm a multi-hunter. Like, right now, not having another DS is really frustrating me. Like, I do, but this one's charging because I forgot to charge it, and the other one's dead. But yeah, that's how I feel. Like the Magic Cat. No, I don't even know oh, you're talking about Pokemon? Or am I not getting it? I'm talking about Pokemon from Gen 6. The was it Delphox? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I haven't, like, every time I get happy with a Pokemon game, they then release something or they don't update the game. Like for example, Love Legends Arceus. Phenomenal game. They killed it right away. They literally destroyed it within a month by releasing the mass outbreaks instead of making a new area. Then they released not Black and White, Diamond and Pearl remakes. Personally, I think that might be in my top 3 favorite shiny hunting games. I think they like kind of messed up the underground. Personally, it should have had overworld sprites for the shinies. I didn't want that because it made them more rare not to, but people wanted it. And I feel like more people would have played if they had overworld shinies for the sprites in the underground. I feel like that game would have been probably played like 5 times more if they did that and didn't like, you know, mess it up. So that's my that's the reason why I feel like that game like flaunted. Because also the shiny charm didn't really work. I think it only worked for like what, Masuda method, which is fine. I'm happy with that because if you're gonna be doing Masuda method anyways, you don't care about shiny rates that much. So in the overworld sprite or the overworld encounters, we're like 1 in 4,000 still. So like it's not like, you know, what, it dropped down to like 1 in 1,000, which is a lot better. But at the same time, it's like, what are we even here for? So having it to where it only infected like the Masuda method, I kind of like that. I think that was actually better, and people hated that. And I was like, yeah, this is good because it maintains, you know, the things rare. You had the Poke Radar too, which I did like once. I went, this sucks. I hate this. The Poke Radar, people loved it. So there was potential for Gen 4 remake, but they just destroyed the underground and made it to where it didn't have good like competitive, like not competitive, but cooperative play. Because the problem with Pokemon, they don't know how to make cooperative play. They only know how to make competitive play. Like there's not been a like other than like what Pokemon Unite. What other Pokemon game has had good cooperative play where it's like you work together and you have a really fun time? And even then, that's also really competitive. It's not like a relaxed game. Like you could say, oh, Dynamax Adventures. That's like you're just kind of like sitting there pushing buttons. Like it's not, you know, it's like you're not really doing too much. That's not like a really like cooperative play. That's like oh, look, we're in a lobby just talking on Discord because there's no, you know, easy way to chat outside of that. So, like, to me, it's like they need a game. Like Legends Arceus could have added an implement where you go to an island and they spawn tons of Pokemon. And then it's just a race to see who can catch the most rarest Pokemon. And you have, like, maybe a certain amount of Pokeballs. And you have, like, maybe 2 Pokemon. And if, like, Pokemon faints, you have to go back to base to heal them or something to have it to where it's timed. And it gets a competitive play to it. But instead, they're like, how about we say, fuck it, and it's a single-player game. And then you can play, like, online battles. Because I think there was online battles. But who really cares? Because it's not serious. So there was clearly a meta. I think there was like some type of trading. You could trade, but it's like you get all the Pokemon in the game, I believe. So what was the point? I guess, yeah, you could even do the trade evolutions in game by picking up people's back. That was nothing. The backpacks could have been so cool, but it got to a point. Once you got to a certain point, it's like, who cares if I lost $1 million? I can get it back by grinding this way really fast. So the problem was, it just like Legends Arceus. It's like they just needed some type of good like cooperative play, and I think could have like rolled the ball into making other Pokemon games get that and be good. Because it was kind of fun hosting streams where I did Dynamax Adventures or Dynamax Raids. I did like a few Dynamax Adventures, but this is boring. It was at the beginning. It was kind of fun, and I was like, this sucks. Like this isn't like interactive. This isn't fun. And now that Pokemon's becoming more interactive with the world and like actually like aiming to throw your Pokeballs and whatnot, there's so many things that you could do with that. You could even implement certain Pokeballs that normally, like, you know, wouldn't be made. Like if you're having a cooperative play, maybe like if a person catches a Pokemon, like, you know, it's like that I said earlier, how like you're just all trying to catch Pokemon, so who gets the best points. Have to where there's a Pokeball that lets you like the Snag-'em machine. Or something like that, you know, have something simple like that. Like, there's so much they could do. They could even have it to where you are like, you could like raid your opponents, like, you know how they're on like a pasture or farm in Legends Arceus. That's where you can just like raid their thing and start snagging their Pokemon to kind of get their points. Like, there's so much they could do, dude. There's so much they could do. It is what it is. Okay, see you later, Mix. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry if I didn't get any questions and whatnot. But hopefully the new Legends game will be fun and it's something that could get us all back into Pokemon again and shiny hunting, but I'm not too hopeful that's going to be the next best thing. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good enough. Not fully baked. Let's see. Well, it was a lot doughy, not fully baked. Yeah, no, sadly enough. It's one of those games that had the most amount of potential. The most amount of potential because it was so unique. And it stepped away from really pandering to competitive play. Because normally when a game like Let's Go comes out, it's not about competitive play, so they can get away with doing like mega evolutions again. They can do like all these cool, unique little shiny hunts and all these different little things. But once again, it's a third party developed it, not fully Game Freak, so they didn't really, put that much time into it. Also, they just want a cash grab, It was on the off the go of Pokemon Go. They're like, we have to release this now so we can have it compatible with Pokemon Go, and we can make even more money. So we have to like half bake it. And who really cares? So the problem I have though is that like Legends Arceus has so many good things and it's but so many bad things, and the goods outweigh the bad. Now with the new game, they could totally fix that. They could add it to where it's in a city, so I better be getting a house and I better be able to decorate the house, but actually have it to where it's cool and unique. I better get some cool stuff. What do you mean the whole entire city does not have an arcade that I can't go there and play like coin machines to get prizes and tickets, which then I could use to collect minifigures in the game? And there's like, 1,000+ Pokemon, so let me collect each individual Pokemon and get shiny versions of those. Why isn't that going to be in the game? Because they don't care. Like, could you imagine shiny hunting little tiny miniature figures from a claw machine or a gachapon machine after like just collecting coins? That would be the coolest thing. That would be so amazing. And then you could display it in your room. Oh my! Why can't they? Man, I need to blow up Nintendo, dude. They have no rights to exist as a company because they just like completely like, oh, that's the gambling. That's why you make it. There's incentives, because for a while they took out the not claw machines, but the spin machines. I can't even say it. The roulette machines and whatnot because it promoted gambling. But all you do is turn into an arcade, dummy. All you do is turn into an arcade. And then it's fine because you're just getting prizes. Like, you're not spending money. Like, you're spending little tokens. It had to where you earn it a certain way rather than having to pay, like, the money in-game. Which is just kind of... Man, come on, man. I want Monster Hunter to have Shiny so I can slap him. I love the idea of Monster Hunter, but I couldn't get into it. It's too slow, and I mean slow in like the movements. It feels realistic. I used to love the idea of realistic games, but as I get older, I don't have time. So like movement of things being slow and bulky and heavy, I need fast, I need speed, I need that. So I can't play those games, sadly. But it's cool to see all the unique armors and all the monsters from it. I will say that. Oh, excuse me, I burped. Yeah, like swinging a sword that's huge, has weight to it, which is cool. The idea that's cool. It's realistic, but I don't want realism right now because I'm too lazy for all that nonsense. It takes too long. I have actually very severe ADHD where like if something takes too long, I already know what the output's gonna be. I get very anxious and frustrated. Like when I'm talking to people sometimes, like I know what they're gonna say. I'm like, come on, man, hurry up, dude, hurry up. I already know what you're gonna say, and it's stupid, and you're dumb, and I'm smarter, so let me just talk already. But no, I get very flustered sometimes. Not always, but it's like when I'm like, come on, man. We've been here already. I know what you're gonna say. Just let me speak now and tell you something different than what you're gonna say. Yeah, I turn 52 here. I know you're living in your youth. Gosh, I wish I was turning 52. I'd get some benefits. Not really. I won't get actually probably any benefits. Sadly, I haven't had paid into the Social Security enough to get benefits. Heartbreakingly. What the heck? Don't tell me there's like a. I was kind of mad because my friend that I'm friends with in real life and also he does content, the Youper. He's like, yeah, it's going to be at 2 o'clock. The announcement's going to be. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, it's always at 9 o'clock. But he was so sure, and I didn't look it up because I'm like, I'm just going to believe him because I know deep down it's probably at 9 o'clock. I got up at 9 because I had to go to the doctor's, but I got canceled. But I'm like, I bet you $10 is going to be on. I get on. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker. Because he wanted to do a live streaming our reactions, like a dual live, which I was like, yeah, sure, I can do that. I'll be like, if I'm home in time. And then I look, I'm like, you dummy. Let's see. Change screen a bit. Crim, what do you mean? I mess up something. Let's see. Come on. There we go. I'm trying to get this set up right now. But I think I have to clean my black and white too. It looks dirty. Okay, well this is tragic. This is or wait, yeah, these can play. Wait, can 3DSs play Japanese games? I don't remember if they can. I know that DS Lites can. Oh, I don't know if they can. Son of a bench, damn. Oh man, come on, man. I don't know if they can. I really don't want to play anything else other than black and white. This is gonna. Oh wait, do you want? I have a black and white right here. There he is. I knew that motherfucker was creeping. That's why I didn't say too much. That was so, dude. I like legit kind of like when you said that. I was like, oh man, I don't know about that in my head. I was like, I don't know about that. I had to reschedule. They canceled my appointment today. Yeah, give them a follow by the way if you haven't subscribed. Because it's always been 9. I think they're at, yeah, it's never been 8 o'clock, but it's always been 9 o'clock. It probably said like that for like a different region and they got promoted or something. Or it just was stupid and messed up. Come on, this thing isn't loading. I mean, it actually sucked, yeah. The idea, you missed it, man. I kind of went off earlier. The idea of Legends Arceus or Legends ZA has so much potential, but it looks like it's going to be kind of clunky. Like the skipping and like messing up. Why is this DS is like fucked up right now? Okay, there we go. It should be fine. I think it has potential, but it should have been from the past. It should have been during the. It's called Legends. It should have been. Dude, nothing's working on this DS. What the fuck? Oh, do you want? This is. Oh, damn it! They're both 3D. They're both Japanese games. Fucking hate. I don't have any of my other ones. I think you can play, technically, a black and white French game because it's not as region locked or something. Let me check. Oh, I'll tell you how I feel about it in a second. I just hey, this isn't my DS. This is yeah, this is my DS. I was gonna say this was actually Soul Clicks. His is dirty. No, I had this DS since the beginning. It's like just like it just has all the scuffs and like gross grime on it. Oh, let's go. We can do French. Pokemon Paris runs it. Let's go. Okay. I feel like your brother have my hands on the French copy. But his brother's not married, dating a French woman. So that's why it's funny. Well, he knows. I don't know anything about modding. I know nothing about modding, and I hate modding. Yeah, the one you gave me is right here. It just looked blue. It's like a teal. Okay, so the problem with Legends Arceus was that they didn't release any content for it after it got released. And when they did, they released one patch update, and it gave massive mass outbreaks, which was a month after release. It devalued every single shiny except for distortion shinies, a few of them, and made pretty much every shiny like way easy to like manipulate and get. And it kind of tanked the game and gave us no actual content. Like they gave us literally nothing. They locked all the mythicals still. They made it to where like it's like okay, you just can catch them. Okay, sweet. We're in like we're going for Blitzel, I think. Game sucked because of that. So fast forward, we now have this new one, which has potential, but from the looks of it, it's only Cityscape. It looks like it's going to be a little bit slow and laggy. Like when jumping off a building to switch to a glider, it did that skip it does in both games, Scarlet and Violet and in Legends Arceus. Which this sucks because it's like it's such a simplistic game. Just please make it good parkour flow. If we're going to be stuck in a fucking city all day, like give us Attack on Titan elements, please. Like can we get like something like where it's like fast-paced parkour and it's cool? If we're going to have to rotate the camera, give us like full maneuverability. That's like one of the big things right away. Maybe they'll fix it. Maybe that'll get different. So now we have it to where when you get into battles, you control yourself, which that's what it was like in Legends Arceus, and you can move around in battles as long as you're not in the menu screen. And you have to control where your Pokemon aims, essentially, within range for certain moves. Which the idea that's cool until you realize the fucking Switch controller is horrible. And the Joy-Cons and even just like the normal things don't really like aim as well. So I have to worry about mapping an area on the screen while moving, which could be cool. It could be fun, but after a while I feel it's going to get annoying. And after a while, I'm just going to find a move that hits everything or doesn't have a range, because I don't want to deal with that. It looks like there is still going to be that Scarlet and Violet feature where you can just like easily battle Pokemon really fast. If that's the case, awesome. Goated. We want that. Then coming up next is, and also the Yooper's not a shiny hunter, so everything he says is really invalid. I looked down, he said talking about Xenoblade. No one cares. No one cares, bro. We don't care if the game looks bad. We want to run good and we want to be simple for shiny hunting. No, that's just me being elitist for shiny hunting. But he has probably valid criticisms. I'm just saying, like, I only care about one thing. It could be the worst fucking story, worst game ever if shiny hunting's good. But no. So going on that, like the battle system is gonna be frustrating. Well, it's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. But I'll read your comments in a second. I'm just like, I'm just bullying him. But so that being said, with going to the combat system, that looks like it could be fun, but also it could be annoying after a while, especially if you're gonna have to shiny hunt and do battles some way. That'll be annoying. Now it breaks down to, it looks like it's gonna be just the city. The best thing about Arceus is they had 4 different biomes, or was it 5? I think it was 4. It was 4, maybe 5. It was 5. Mount Coronet, water area, beginning area, snow area, and then, yeah, 5. Because then it was that one, no. I think it was 4. Anyways, the point is we had a whole bunch of different areas, and it was beautiful. It was great. The only problem was that the areas were relatively small after you spent multiple times running through each map, and we wanted more. Now they're like, how about instead we just make the city an area? And more than likely, are we going to get sewers? Probably not. So what's like the coolest, grimiest thing to do in a city if you're going to be hunting for things? Go in the sewer looking for alligators in New York. Are we even going to go into the sewer? Probably not. It was in black and white too. That was like one of the coolest little tag team battles. So if they don't have a sewer system, at least an area to explore in this new game, I'm gonna freak out. They could, but that's like another thing. Like, how complex is it gonna be? Because from the looks of it, all the wild areas are kind of cool. You get like a little waterway, like like how Paris has those waterways. That's kind of cool, but it's like, okay, it's still a city. They get a little area, like a sandbox area. It look like that's kind of cool, but it's still a city. And I just don't think that's like going to be viable after a while. Things get boring. And will they update it to add? How you doing, by the way, Cookie Gamer? Will they add more to it soon, to where like we can go outside the city? I don't know. If they do, like maybe late gaming, go outside the city and go to a new area, and then later on they make DLC, then I'd be fine. As long as they can add on to the game after it's been released and make new areas, I'd be fine. Will they though? Probably not. They didn't do it with Let's Go. They didn't do it with what's it called? Legends Arceus. They did it with Diamond and Pearl because it was already in the game. Like, that's a feature that extra area is. So it's, I don't know. So with that being said, the totality of why this game, I'm very disappointed in it, is one that the Shiny Hunter is probably gonna be trash, like Scarlet and Violet. But if we come to like a story implementation of it, maybe it'll be some grand, stupid story like they always do. They always overinflate things and make things like, oh, this is so complex, but it's not. In the modern story, as I'm trying to say, like Sun and Moon onwards, you look at Generation 6, and its lore is super rich and deep, super complex. They had a war between 2 brothers, which broke out and caused the eradication of millions of Pokemon and human lives. Then that guy, out of sorrow, like with that happening, he brought forth his Pokemon that got killed. Then that Pokemon leaves him, which makes him more mad and causes him to do even more drastic stuff. And he is left to walk the earth for 3,000 years onwards and be a prisoner in his own body, not being able to die, and yearning for his friend. And during that time, his brother realizes the mistakes they made. And him trying to overthrow his brother's kingdom was probably a big mistake, and he should have gone a different way about it. So he ends up stealing the Pokemon's ancient weapon away. They pass down through the bloodline where the location of that ancient weapon is. Lysander, the main bad guy, gets the info of it because he is the next lineage of that king that passed away 3,000 years ago. So they tell him, hey, look, this is where the weapon is. During this time, he's traveling the world trying to help people. With this happening, he realizes humans are inherently selfish, You give them a fish, they'll ask for another one next day. You give them a fishing rod, they'll fish for the rest of their lives. But what you realize is that's not true. They're always going to ask for a fish, dude. No matter what, they're going to keep asking for more and more, and they're not actually going to try to innovate and become better and to strive to be a citizen of the world. Instead, they're going to be greedy. So, like, you can never actually truly help someone in certain situations because they're always going to be greedy. So I think this is goated, this whole entire story. And we could see the past. We could see that war. We could see a multiplayer that's competitive where it's like you could be either one side of the region or the other side of the region and have a cool competitive play that is like unique. But instead, we're getting a future timeline from X and Y, and it looks like there might be some ancient, some evil villain organization that's trying to maybe corrupt the progression of the city. Maybe it will lead into some, like, you know, things coming up from the past, maybe the weapon used again. But the point is that they had this extremely rich story, and instead of digging it up, because these were all in files and whatnot and books throughout the thing, and he only brings up passively in the story, instead of bringing it up, they just leave it there. And they go, guess what? Who cares? Maybe they'll talk about it. Maybe things will be referenced to it. Maybe things will be brought back. But we could have relived that story. It's called Legends, as in the legend of, you know, kind of like Legends Arceus. We went back in the past to learn the legends of Arceus. Now we should know the legend of AZ, but instead it's called Legends ZA because we're going to be making the legend, I guess, which is dumb. They should have said, new fucking game for Gen 6 that isn't Gen 6 that wants to be Arceus. But instead, they decide to use somewhat of the Arceus like branding and Scarlet and Violet system to make people want to buy it. So that's my whole entire like current feelings about that. How like it's that alone is like the biggest blunder. Maybe the story will be good. Pokemon never has good stories ever since like Gen 6 onwards. They've been trash. So let me see. I do apologize, Kagame. I saw you comment. I didn't pay attention. Also, I'll get to you too. Youper. I almost called you Thanos. That's funny. What do you think about Champions? I've been playing VC since a year, and it's huge. It's like showdown kind of. Yeah, with me, I hate competitive play. If I may, I hate VGC. On a personal level, I despise it. That's just me because I love Shiny Hunt. I'm like a die-hard Shiny Hunter. So I personally, I'm like, this is the worst decision they ever made. They should have made this for Shiny Hunting. But it does look extremely amazing for people that do play competitive, play VGC. So I will not like hate on it for that. I'll hate on it because it's not Shiny Hunting. Because I despise VGC so much to where like I get frustrated because a lot of the thing that happens is that VGC is prioritized for everything when it comes to Pokemon, like everything. The whole entire every game is based only on that, and if it's a side game, then it gets treated decently. But even then, it's a side game, so they don't put much money into it, so it doesn't actually get treated as good as it should be. But VGC is like the main component of the reason why we don't get like Megas back, we don't get like Dynamaxes back, we won't get Terrestrials back for a while probably. Maybe they'll change it now, but that's like my whole entire thing. Is that like I feel like this could, like, Champions could fix that, but they take, we don't get these cool, unique features in the main games because it affects competitive play. So they don't just make it a story accessibility thing. Like, honestly, Scarlet and Violet, if they would have just brought back Megas as well, that'd be cool, but you have to implement that into the competitive play, and they don't want to do that. They could just make it story exclusive, but they just won't do that. So, me on a personal level, I don't like it, but for people like you that just got into it, or people that have been playing VGC, it's probably like the biggest dub from what I've seen. Because I didn't like watch the full thing. My understanding is pretty much you can play VGC on your phone, and it's more like easily connectable, and it'll probably run way better, and it'll make it more accessible so anyone can play. They don't have to have like a Switch. It's pretty much gonna be like a Smogon essentially. It's like gonna make it that it's a better version, not a better version, but it's gonna be like that where it's like accessible. Because anyone with a computer can play that. Is it called Smogon? I think it's called Smogon. So it's good. Okay, let me go back up to the Youper saying, we need Xenoblade Pokemon. No, I'm slandering him. He's like a careless about movement if this Shiny Hunt's good. Okay, let me see. Xenoblade complete open world, no low screens and runs amazing. Pokemon starts with no, I agree with that. I'm fine with stuttering if the Shiny Hunt's good, but the problem is Shiny Hunt's not going to be good. So the stuttering makes it to where it's garbage. You're not like he's like Youper just plays like he's not a person that is dedicated to something in the sense of gaming. He likes to play vast majority of games and have experiences, which I think that's good. But me, I'm a focus gamer. I focus fully on one or two games, and I completely get engrossed with them, and I build that I kind of like make that my personality to some extent in the sense of like continuing. So someone like me, a lot of people like this. It's most people like with like ADHD, OCD, a little bit of autism. They fully focus on one thing and they like to see it flourish. Most people though that have that, they are just content with everything. With me, how you doing, by the way, Cosmic? With me, I'm not content with everything, and I will complain, and I will not glaze it. Like, people that love Pokemon tend to be the kind that go, like, it's okay if they make a kind of bad game constantly. At least we're getting another game. And when they do complain, it's like stupid stuff like, why can't we have every single Pokemon in the game? It's like, well, because realistically, you just can't do that sometimes when you have over 1,000 fucking things that have to interact with each other with different stats and whatnot. So if we had to cut down maybe to like 600 and eventually add them in, that's totally fine. But instead, everyone's like, we need the national dex. I'm like, you need a national dick in your ass because you're an idiot and you need to be put down like one. But that's bad. That's mean. It's fucked up. But the thing is, people complain about the wrong things. You can add more Pokemon in time and make the game like have more and more. That makes it to where people want to come back, and that's good. That's what Pokemon Go does. They don't release every Pokemon because it would be stupid. Like, then what's the point of playing? So you slowly add it in, and that's great. But instead, they want to be like, what are you gonna do with all those fucking Pokemon? You can't you can't hunt all of them at once. You can't like, who cares? So yeah, I don't know. That's what Shrek 6 trailer just dropped. Oh no, did it really? It's over. It's over. Shy Hunt's Chris Legend. I know. If they literally, I would do it for free. Just give me full control to make the ultimate shiny hunting game. Because all these people, they're like, let's add an SOS. Let's do this. Like, no, let's fully break down what shiny hunt needs to be. Let's make multiple tiers to it. Let's make it to where it's even competitive to some extent. And let's make it cool. But instead, they just want to keep shitting out games. Because if in a general sense, I agree with the Youper, where it's like, yeah, we should have a good game just to play. But as a person that doesn't play Pokemon just for the one time game experience, as in like maybe play it once or twice, as in like beat it once or twice, I'm a guy that puts 1,000, 2,000 hours in. Like Gen 2, I've probably put about 6,000 hours in easy. Or not Gen 2, my bad, Gen 5. Easy. Like not even like, oh yeah, I probably put in like $100. Oh, I put 1,000. No, I put so much time into these games, and I played multiple of them at once, that like I need consistency. I need something that works well to where it's fun for 6,000 hours. So like if a game stutters, I'm like, yeah, who cares? Who cares? This one, they're both Gen 5. This one's Gen. Oh, you mean which one? That's the one that you're like, yeah, my girlfriend hated. Or no, she's like, no, I think Hannah liked Gen 5. I'm like, no, she hated it. And he goes, no, she liked it. I'm like, no, she hated it. She didn't like the garbage bag. I'm like, and the ice cream cone. And you're like, no, she probably liked it. And then I ask her, hey, Hannah, how do you think about Gen 5? She goes, oh, it's dumb. It's the ice cream cone in the garbage bag. I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, I'm so good at reading people when it comes to like how they're gonna like Pokemon. Yes, black and white. Yeah. Black and White's the most go-to game of all of them for story and aesthetics. I love it. I love it so much. Let's see. I just like they have such potential to make like a super good game, but they don't care. Yeah, so Gen 5 has the first game, which is okay. It's a pretty decent enough game, but Part 2, so good. That game actually plays a lot better. There's cooler sceneries. The stories aren't literally. I believe in the first game. I think it's either in the first game or the second game. I can't remember how it works. I think in the beginning of the second game, the triad of Team Plasma, Steel, like one of the characters' sisters, Purloins, and then later on, you verse it at the very end of the game, and it's on a Lipard, and he's like, oh shoot. That's the Purloin that got stolen from my sister. And it's like, that was so cool seeing that. Because they don't do that. Like, that's obviously something simple. But you don't see that in Pokemon. So having it actually get brought into Pokemon was so good. Also, technically, the Snag'em games are like the best. Like Pokemon Coliseum, XD Gale Darkness. Those are technically the best. They suck at shiny hunting. Brutal. One of the most brutal games of shiny hunting. But, which they should have also brought in that. They should have brought in Legends Z8. Damn it! They could totally make a game where it's like Legends Day, where it's two countries warring. One's a bad guy country, quote unquote bad guy. They have the Snag'em machine, so you can steal people's Pokemon. The other people are the opposite, and like the good guys. So they also have a Snag'em machine if you want to use it. But they do it for good. Like, oh, There's so much they could do. So much they could do. But Black and White 2 is really good. It's funny too. The guy's like crazy. He's just crazy. He's just generally crazy. He goes out and goes, I want to control all of Unova, just one continent. Every other person in the whole entire world wants to destroy the world, wants to take over the world, wants to cause mass extinction, wants all these crazy things. And this guy, he's just like, I want to control this continent, and he loses his arm in the first one. So the second one, he has one less arm. So like, was it worth losing an arm to try to control the continent? But you're still gonna. You also want to freeze the continent as well, because it was in like it was like the grand like plan. So dumb, so dumb. I like the cartoony villains when done right. Ooh, I thought I was shying for a second. I was screaming. Make it a war game, but they both evil. Yeah, I would love to see a Team Rocket game. The problem is that it's for babies. Pokemon, let's be honest, for babies. It's not for adults. It never was intended for adults. The Japanese are surprised that even their players are actual babies at the end of the day. To this day, they're like kind of like, why are like adults playing this? This is baby stuff. This is pathetic. Which, in some extent, I would even agree, because it's kind of weird that we're playing like kids games like this. But it has such a deep lore and such a deep thing that could become of it that makes it to where it's like adult friendly. It's just that it's not like in the mainstream. It's like when we did the D&D stuff, it was really like dark and cool and like messed up. That turns into adult themes. But they don't actually have that for the actual Pokemon games. Like, they don't truly have that. So it's like, why are we even playing these games, dude? They're just baby games. But either way, it don't matter. Like when they finally brought back, you could die in a Pokemon Arceus. Legends Arceus, like, no, you just got knocked out and someone found you. You didn't actually die. Like that was so like surprising. Like, 20 years, you know. I want to do D&D again. The problem is I have to get the following again to have people want to join it, because soon, once I get surgery, I'll be out, so I could just sit there and do D&D. So I don't know. Have a reverse furry, so like what, normal? A normal person? Black and White, so good, dude. They have Scally. They have the two dragons, so that's like every Pokemon game gets a dragon. Every like legendary is a dragon. When they stopped making every legendary a dragon, was it like Sun and Moon? No, 6th gen. 6th gen. Because almost every legendary was a dragon type up until, or had at least a dragon type implementation to it. So I don't think Linola was psychic flying, right? Because Rayquaza, we had like the main like trios and whatnot. We had Reshiram. We had, well, I guess Mewtwo in that. Oh no, yeah, no, Mewtwo and them were never dragons. So I guess that's the start of that one. I guess we just had like a long span of just like, we had Dialga, Palkia dragons, Giratina. We had, well, is Giratina dragon? Yeah, I think it's dragon. One of its forms dragon. So for 3 games we just had dragons. Because we had Mewtwo and Mew, which weren't dragons, and we had like the 3 birds. So I think it was like Gen 3 just, and through Gen 5 just had dragons, like a lot of them. So I'm just remembering. But yeah, these Gen 2 didn't really have any dragon legendaries. We had Celebi, that's a mythical. We had Lugia, Ho-Oh, the dogs. And that was it for legendaries, right? Celebi, yeah, I think it was something like that. And then we had Rayquaza, Groudon, Kyogre, the Regis. Yeah, and then we had the Pixies, the Time Dragons and Space Dragons and Distortion Dragon. We just had like a long run of dragons for some reason, which I kind of like. I like the idea of like the legendary Pokemon being, at least some of them being dragons. I still can't get over how much Scarlet and Violet fumbled their legendaries. Like locking them, making them just trash, had such potential. One day I had to get the DLC for the actual game and play through it, but the problem is that it's just like I don't want to play the games. Like I feel like a Pokemon game's not fun to play, like actually play it, you know? It's fun for a bit, like playing the old game's always fun for a bit, but then after a while it gets boring. Yeah. Oh, he was fine with furries. He just didn't want Pokemon to be locked up. He was probably fucking at Zoroark. But no, he just didn't want Pokemon to be locked up. Someone's a reverse furry. Let's see. I gotta say, new versions of the legendary dogs were the ugliest things that come out. I kind of like Suicune, but the crowd on Entei was stupid. And Raikou, I think he has potential because he's so unique, but also dumb, like a dumb giraffe. How you doing, Rogelio Prado Bracamatis? I can't even say that. I don't know how to say it, but how you doing? I'm not good at saying names. I wouldn't mind doing a Pokemon. I still have a lot of the story bits from the last thing we did. Because we never actually fully got to do the Kyurem one. I had it all written up for not all of it, but I had a lot written up with Kyurem, and it was awesome. I'm very good on the spot storyteller and maker, but when I plan something, I have such a good thing I just can't execute it right. I don't have like the time and like we could sit there at a table with no paper, and I could make the story. But if I'm making content for it, people want pictures. They want to see like the dice rolls. It's a lot harder. And I'm not saying you guys, but people that want to maybe watch later on. But I'm trying to think. Maybe we'll do a semi-soft reboot. I wish there was like an app that could make it to where it could keep track of what Pokemon you guys caught, and I could have like a quick access to what you guys have and whatnot. We had our trainer cards. I like the idea of all the items we had. The problem is I just don't know if I have every single item catalog and purpose. Because when I play D&D, I don't like the idea of actual numbers. I like the idea that I'm kind of controlling your guys' fate, and it's funner that way. So, like, if you roll, like, you know, the rolls kind of make it to where it makes it where it's fun because we don't know what's going to happen. But a part of me also kind of likes just being able to control it to where I can kind of pick and choose. Because it makes it to where then it's more open and more free. So, like, the idea is that we could change the story at any second. And the problem is, though, it's not as consistent. And it might not be the funnest experience if you're not having something to go and gain from it. The problem is the XP system. I'd have to Pokemon Evolve, but I don't have it too fast. But also, D&D is a fundamentally flawed, stupid game because it takes so long for things to actually happen. And since we're online, it makes it even worse. So, like, you know, you might go to play D&D once a week, and you're slowly building up a world and character. You might play for 4 to 5 hours, 6, 7 hours, who knows. And you're building a character over, like, you know, months and months, leading to years possibly. That's cool and all, but it's like, I'm taking forever to level. I'm taking forever to do things. And I don't want people to think that they're the main character. Sorry to tell you this, but I'm the main character. I'm the dungeon master. I'm the main character. You're in my world playing it. So you can pretend to be one, but I'll just like kill you after a while because I don't want people to think that they're the best. When there's other people at the table, everyone needs their time to shine. So I don't like playing in the sense where we get people that think that they're going to be the coolest player. They're going to be the best player. You can be a cool player. You can be a person that has like a lot of swagger, has a lot of like intent with their movements and whatnot. But I don't want to be to where people think that they're the best. And when you're playing it, like, oh, I'm actually the coolest and strongest. Because, you know, you might have that classing where you're actually really good. And I don't mind doing that. I don't mind feeding to people's egos. But I don't want people to fully think that they are going to be the person that is going to control the game. And they're the reason why the game's going. And I hate the idea of that. So I try to make it balanced to where if I know a certain personality type people have, I'll feed into it. But I'm not just going to give you free access to do what you want. Because it just kind of ruins it for other people. Or makes it kind of too one-dimensional and boring. Because I know what's going to happen next. I want to be surprised by myself, and I want to be surprised by what people decide to interact with. Is how I kind of see it. Like, if I clearly have a story implementation I'm trying to push forward and move forward, I would like you to, at least, most of the time, if it seems important, abide by the story beats. You can go off every once in a while, but I don't like it. You can sometimes challenge the story, but in the general sense, if we have a general overarching story, we want to stay by it. And that's the difference between going out on a campaign and doing something random or actually doing something in a story element like area. So if we're in like town and I'm trying to pitch you this big grand idea, I want you to go along with it. Or if we're in the battlefield and then something happens, you might be able to do something cool because, you know, it's unique, it's random, it's just in the top of our heads. Whereas if I'm trying to push a narrative, I want people to cater toward that narrative. And you can question it sometimes, but if I tell you no multiple times, or I change it back to reset them back to the narrative, then it's obvious that we were going to go by this. Which is how I kind of see it as, because a lot of people tend to want to be a jokester and whatnot, and I don't like dealing with that when trying to build a massive story that's going to be good for everyone, that's going to be rich. Like right now, the story I have is that, of course, there's Snorlax and Gengar. And on the island of Snorlax is a good guy. Gengars are the questionable two bad guys. Or, just ambiguous. They're like the more sinister. So depending on which islands that you want to live on will dictate that type of mindset. You can live in a Gengar island and be a completely innocent little angel, but that's because it's like the exception to the rule, and it's not going to be everyone. But the idea is that there's definitely something going down. And the Gengar faction is trying to bring back Gengar to pretty much consume the whole world. This is a Gigantamax Gengar. And to plunge the world into darkness. Eat out the sky. That sounds crazy. Which would then cause, obviously chaos and whatnot. So that being said, we have the good guys, the Snorlax faction, which is a landmass of its own that has brought all of the islands to exist almost, And it is a pure being of happiness and light, and he just wants to flourish. And he wants to have his tree keep growing because he has that huge tree on him, the Gigantamax one. And it's like kind of like, the complete polar opposite of what Gengar is. During this time, you're finding out the backstory of Gengar through secret messages. And on top of that, you'll end up having other grand journeys on the side. So for an example is, I don't think we got to it. I only gave like a little tiny spoiler to it. We never actually got to fully flesh it out because that's when I pretty much stopped because I had too much going on, and honestly it just was too much for me to handle. Was we had the Kyurem arc, where essentially, if like I said before, we have all these islands, and each island's like shaped after a Pokemon. You might find that Pokemon on that island. More than likely, you probably will 99% of the time, or it'll be hidden somewhere on that island. Well, one of the islands, one day, a Never Melt Ice, the item, that Never Melt Ice in Pokemon, that I think increases, Ice-type moves or something, or increases, fire, it does something to Fire-type moves or something like that, I can't remember. But the point is, randomly, a Never Melt Ice shows up, and then another one drifts ashore, and then another one, and then it's like a whole bunch of them, and then there's a huge glacier, and coming ashore, and then you see a note in a bottle floating towards you, and you pick up that note, and it says, "Need help ASAP," but it looks kind of old. It looks kind of faded, and it just so happens it tells you where to go. So you go there, you find this huge frozen continent, completely shut off from the rest of the world. It seems almost like neither here or there. And with that happening, you find an igloo, and you walk over that igloo, and there's a little guy in there, and he is talking to himself, kind of, just like murmuring. He goes, "Oh, hey, I haven't seen anyone here for a while." He talks to you, he tells you the story of this island and how one day a piece of ice, Never Melt Ice, shows up at this ancient old volcanic, kind of like a lowland type area where it's always hot there, and it's like to have air conditioner would be perfect. Well, this Never Melt Ice, they found out, we could put it into a box, put some tubes through it, shoot air through it, and cause air conditioner. And now we can start preserving our food because we learned that we could also turn this into a refrigerator. And they started finding more and more of it slowly wash up to shore, which made them excited because now their economy has boomed. They turned it into essentially a massive organization and a massive thing to sell to other islands nearby. And with that being said, everyone's thriving now. This volcanic area that was unbearable to live at sometimes, the breathing was hard, is now fixed because even just having the ice in proximity cooled down the area because it's Never Melt Ice. I'm so smart for that. So it lowered the temperature in general, and less volcanoes happened. So point being, it's a beautiful thing that's happened. Well, one night, that glacier finally came in, a different glacier. And this so happened to not be Never Melt Ice. Instead, it trapped something, all that Never Melt Ice, within that glacier. And thus came Kyurem. And as you know, Kyurem is a very just an evil existence. It just wants to consume and eat everything. So it went through the town, slowly blasted everything to ice, ripping apart, chewing people down. and cause massive chaos. So with that happening, the main character of that like area, who just got married, was celebrating his like day of marriage at the beach. Everyone's gone. He's by himself. Sees his new wife, get eaten slowly in front of him, and he was somehow able to escape. Not that he wanted to, but he was somehow able to get away. I think Kieran just kind of, I can't remember the reason why, just walked past him. Um, uh, and that now leads into the guy telling the story of what happened through all that time. And you find out that, oh yeah, Kieran just went around killing everyone on every island and slowly turned into blizzards. But the idea is that you don't really know that just yet. That's obviously a spoiler, but we talked about it before for some people. And it's like you're kind of wondering what came of this. Like, you don't know it's Kiram at the time, and you're slowly uncovering it. During this journey, you have like 6 different areas you're going to go to explore to get the full story more flushed out. And there ends up being like an ice field where it's just tons of like ice sculptures, and people are like, oh wow, these ice sculptures are cool, dude. They look realistic, they look awesome. And then you realize half of them are like kind of bitten into and kind of broken. And then as you look closely, if you do, you'll see their eyes moving back and forth, and you'll see like dread in their faces, and you realize it's a hunting ground for Glailies, because Glalie likes to freeze its opponent and slowly eat it and hear it screams. It gets it. It's like a delicacy, and it like fully makes them excited whenever they can freeze an opponent and then slowly eat them while they're frozen. So that was one of the areas, which was really cool. I love that idea. And now you get ambushed by a whole bunch of Glailies. So how do you battle that? Hopefully someone has fire type or a metal type, a steel type, whatever it's called. Another area was like an underground tunnel. And this kind of, the way I thought about this, yeah, and Andrea made the art for it. I still have that. So with that happening, I had another idea for this artwork, which was, which we did. This arc was, you ever watch like Ice Age? And they go through the tunnels, and they're like at that, like the first Ice Age, and they're like, going through all the little tiny like glacier tunnels and like flying through them and sliding through them. They might fall to their deaths, but they don't. Imagine that area, and you're going down to something kind of like that, and then you start seeing all these like fossils, but they're not fossils, they're ancient Pokemon. And you're looking around, and then you come upon one, and it's a huge Tyrantrum just standing right in front of you. And you're like, wow, that's crazy to think that these used to exist in the world. And then you turn away, and you start looking at the other Pokemon, and when you turn back around, that Tyrantrum's not there anymore. That was just an ice sheet hiding the Tyrantrum. So now you have to verse a giant alpha Tyrantrum. And so, yeah. Oh, so yeah. First, like, what the hell did I walk into? I made a D&D for Pokemon, and one of the stories was a whole entire, like, complex thing where Glalie was eating people, because that's what Glalie does. But the thing is, you wouldn't know about all these story beats unless you, like, actually got to those and explored. So, yeah, that's the idea. It was just like a D&D thing. And then, it got into more. I was looking into more ice types I could do. One was, of course, with, if not Glalie, what's Froslass? Frostlass was her trying to, pretend as a maiden to lure you in, and then be like, look at, hey, like, I'm just a beautiful lady, and I'm the only one left in my village. And, he tries to lure you into, like, just hanging out while they secretly try to, like, steal your soul. So, yeah. That was, like, the whole idea. We had a huge arc, which I still might do. I have a lot of the art from Andrea. I'd love to continue it. I just need to get, like, more ideas. And, it was cool. Like, the idea of it's really cool. And I'm still, like, I want to do it, but the problem is I probably need I want to make it into, like, a story as well. Like, as I just told you guys this, I could literally take what I just said, edit it a little bit more, put the images over, or even just, like, make a draft and just read out loud. Some people can watch it and then kind of, like, see that its own video. I don't think it'll do that good. Maybe it'll get, like, 100 views, maybe get, like, 1,000 views. I think it'd be, like, a cool lore thing. So, yeah. Oh, how you doing, Llama? How you been, buddy? It's been a while. Let's see. Excited to work at my desk job in Pokemon Z. Yeah, I'm excited to sit down and file papers while random Pokemon will run through my office. 100 views is not really a lot when it comes to, like, making certain content. I do not get satisfied if I don't get about 5,000 views or 3,000 views on like most of my videos, and I mean that like my TikTok videos and my figure videos. So making content for something that might only get like 100 views, I put a lot of work into it, would feel a little disheartening because I don't know if there'll be any, like if it's 100 views but like 50 people commenting, that'd be different. Then we have a thriving little community, but that wouldn't be the case. Yeah, the Giant Executor, the Gigantamax, or even like Dynamax Executors, that was fun. I like that a lot. Can someone message Crystal? Like, can you like at Crystal in the Discords, like multiple Discords, tell her to come in? Because maybe I can get like the band together again, and we can work on some a few extra art pieces to kind of put together something, and maybe we'll do like a soft reset on the D&D. The problem is that like I'm busy, but I'm not, and I need like essentially to make sure that I have funds going. So maybe if I can get if we can start doing it, and I can get enough people watching, I'll do it. But honestly, it might have to be like a semi-donation, if not donation, some other way. God, Trapinch, motherfucker. I don't even know if I have any tax on this. Okay, I do. So we'll figure something out. The problem is it's a lot of work, so that's why I'm like kind of like worried about. It's a lot of work, and not just for me, but for the people that are making the art and making the content with me, in the sense. So I think I still have like 2 servers that have all the stuff. Yeah, I was talking to her the other day. She's doing good for the most part. I was just chatting with her the other day, chatting with Andrea and Crystal and Doomhog. I think we're here about since Let's Go. I think Soul, when did you come in? Were you at the end of Let's Go, or were you at Sword and Shield? I can't remember. I think the oldest person that followed me, that's a hard one. That like is still around. That's a hard one. It's either Crystal. It's either Crystal or Andrea. I'm trying to think. When she was working on my comment work, so I might a bit. Oh, that sucks. I didn't know about that. I was talking to her the other day, but I didn't really talk to her about any work, so whatnot. So that sucks. Hopefully she's better. She has a busy job, keeps her busy. For things like daily events. Yeah, Lucas OG2. Yeah, which is Doomhawk. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I know that you're old, but you're not like the ancient ones. And then we have Brian, who is the ultimate ancient existence, who has been checks in on me every once in a while, who I've known since 2008 or 2009. That has been an ancient slumber. He makes his own content. He's actually really, really big in the Transformers community. So that's cool. I check it out every once in a while. I watch his videos. I haven't watched him in a while though, because problems I don't like watching things for like toys I would want. I don't want to collect Transformers. Yeah, Moss and Barnacles going back. Like Davy Jones. Like the pirates that are on his ship, they're like put onto the ship, like they're molded to it, with how long they've been sitting there doing their jobs and withering away. Like the guy's dad, how he just kind of like he was laying against the ship for like 100 years, not that long, but enough to grow barnacles and get stuck there. Yeah, cards are still left for growing. He made it on 2 bucks. Let's see, gift cards for me. Nice, not bad at all. I just don't play video games really anymore, so I never like the game. I play one game every single day for about half an hour to an hour a day, and that's Metal Slug Awakening. It's an app game, but it doesn't really feel like a normal app game, so I feel content playing it constantly, and it's fun. Outside of that, I'll play Stardews every once in a while. I'll play some Call of Duty, and that's really it, because I feel like gaming has not been fun for like ever for me. And it's not as good as it could be. I want too much out of stuff. So with me, I just been gaming. Go nap and stream something. Okay, sounds good. Go follow Mr. Uper if you haven't. I know him IRL. Excuse me. 11 binders. Holy crap! I need to get one of those mega binders. I really want to get one of those. Yeah, that slime game was so fun, and then I got bored of it because it just was boring. But it was really fun for the time. That was goated back then. Oh, nice, a con. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I'm waiting for Doomhog to finally start collecting actual figures, like action figures, 1/12 scale. One day he's gonna finally just go, dude, I'm just gonna collect one. He's gonna go, oh my god, I've been a fool my whole life. The amount of things you can do with a 1/12 figure is insane. It, like a statue, the idea of like a fixed statue is cool, but like, can you do this, bro? Like, check this out. You can't do this with the statue. You can't make Frieza flip around and do this with his statue. Ain't no way. You can't. I like how I just looked over. It's just sitting there. So good. These are awesome too. This is like a model kit, but it's like a in between a figure and a statue. It has some articulation, but not much. But just enough to where it's perfect. Yeah, if I can jar, that's all I need. If I can jar, I don't have my jarred Khalifa near me. Kefla. These are cool. I really like it. I think the way we trick Doomhog into collecting action figures is by slowly getting him into model kits. You start seeing the articulation. He goes, wow, it's kind of cool how you kind of pose it. Like, it's not going to work now as I'm telling him. I can't subliminally like control him. It's like we get him into like maybe like something like a one-piece ships. He starts collecting the one-piece ship build. Oh, this is fun building them. Then he gets to like the movable pieces of an action figure. He's like, oh, that's not too bad. It's kind of cool. I'm like, oh yeah, it would look really cool if you put that action figure that's not a model kit, but it looks really good next to this model. And he'd be like, oh, you're right. And he gets one. He goes, wow, I can have them like do funny poses. I can have them battle. And he goes, I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep doing this. And then we slowly get him. That's the ultimate way to control someone into wanting to do collecting action figures. It's to slowly weed them into it. I'm just gonna get one more. Yeah, no, I actually don't like model kits like that. I like this model kit. Looks like it's gonna be fun. These mini model kits are phenomenal. They're like super. They're just clip. You're good. These are the best little mini model kits. I love these. But I'm not really into model kits. But finding the right model kits and the right stuff works perfectly. And it's funny because Doomhog was always like, I'm never gonna build one of these mini Legos again. And then he became addicted and started building. I remember the first time he built one, he was this is horrible. It was like second or first week. This is horrible. He's in my stream complaining how like this is like it's brutal. I was like trying to click him in, and then now he has like a lot of them. Where someone starts talking about figures, I think Warhammer. But okay, I just got here. Yeah, Warhammer's okay. It's too much money, and honestly, I don't like. If they came pre-painted, I'd collect them, but they don't become pre-painted, so I don't collect them. Oh yeah, I was sitting there like, what are you talking about, nude orc? Yeah, it was the orc head. It's technically a goblin, but then I had an orc head. Here's actually the orc head. I got a few action figures recently. I have, where's she at? I got recently. I posted on my new channel. I have her right here. I don't want to like drop this. I got this new one. Sheesh. I don't know where any of my other goblins are. I have a few goblins. Yeah, I haven't really posted much on my Twitter. I need to start posting. The thing is that like Twitter's not meant for like content like videos. It's meant for like random memes and random like news videos, not actual content. Not actual content. Welcome back. Not actual content, sadly. Okay, sounds good. I don't know what I want drawn yet. If I do, I'm still gonna wait until I get like an idea fully fleshed out. Because we had a lot stuff, a lot of artwork for it. I want to have it to where we have the artwork. You guys can see it in the Discord or on stream or whatever. And then afterwards, I'll make a video going through and, monologuing, telling the events of what happened. The problem is I don't want to use people's names for the characters, because if I said like if it's like if I say Soul Click, that it sounds kind of weird as like a person in a world. So I'd probably have to like name it something that sounds good for normal people that want to watch something, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. I want it to be something that makes total sense. Because if I'm watching through and I say Doomhog used his like executor to execute someone, that sounds weird. So I'd have to probably like preface it with a different name or something, or have some type of avatar aspect to it. I'd have to figure something out like that. Because it's kind of weird. For like normal people coming in. For us, it'd be cool because like you get to hear your name. But for the average person that would be viewing the video afterwards, like if I make that video, they're like, what the heck? It was a Doomhog. Like, this is kind of cringe. Like, it takes away from the flow of the story that is interesting. Like when I did that monologue a bit ago about the Kyurem thing, I actually did a pretty good job kind of explaining the idea behind it. Whereas if I started using people's names, like screen names and usernames, it wouldn't sound cool. It would be kind of weird. So I might actually do a thing where I might have you pick a name from like a list, or you can make a name within a range of certain things. That makes it to where it seems like it's a part of the world. Because when I was going through, I'm like, it'd be weird to say Doomhog or Soul Click. Andrea the cat, that kind of works because it makes sense. Like, she was a cat in the game. Andrea, it works. That's actually not too bad. But the idea is you want something that's going to flow and not like, because you want to have it to where anyone can join and not be like, oh, it's a cringe screen name. You know what I mean? So I have to figure out something with that. We'll probably like have to give people nicknames, so if we want to use them in the stories of the lore. I could just say our heroes as well. But it would be kind of weird to say our heroes then used, because then it seems like there's not that much uniqueness. So I'm kind of figuring it out. There we go. Just keep the stars that everyone had last game. The higher below 335. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. I feel like I'll probably... The problem is all the items. I kind of want to, like, while it is funny to have the joke items, I probably don't want as many joke items. I want them to be able to be used in a video. So, like, things like Fuda we probably can't have, but we could maybe make a joke, like, joke missions that can be used. Like, mystery rooms where, like, one day we just have, like, a joke game, and that would be, like, a bonus episode or something. Because the idea that, like, what if, like, you're watching, like, a somewhat serious, like, kind of fun, cool thing, and all of a sudden, you know, they use Fuda, and then everyone's like, wow, this is actually just kind of, like, weird. Because it would be fun to do a lot of weird stuff, which we will do at some point. And you can do something weird in the game, but to actually make that a mechanic, and to make it kind of come out of nowhere, it's kind of like, what the... It'll deter people away from wanting to join it ever, and... yeah. Which it was fun. Like I said, it was fun. We can do something unique. It just can't be freaking weird. No, I made a Dungeons & Dragons Pokemon game. And during this, I had an overarching story. But a lot of it was just off the top of my head. And it flowed really well. I then made a Kyurem story, which that's when you came into. Which was like how Kyurem was made, essentially. Or was made, like, came to this world. And became active in this world, I should say. So, essentially, I gave each person a little backstory they could have. Nothing too complex. Depending on where they lived, it would benefit them in certain ways. And the overarching story was that there was a ancient evil known as Gengar, who was a Gigantamax Gengar, that was eating everything in existence. Even eating out the sun. It was so massive. It means, you know, Gigantamax Gengar, he just, like, sucks in everything. He's, like, you know, a huge evil menace. Then on the opposite side, which, you know, he's a ghost type, on the opposite side would be a Snorlax, which rivals him in size. And he's, like, the life force of the world. He has, like, the grand tree on top of him. He's, you know, his Gigantamax form has that huge tree. he's like the idea of goodness and pureness in the world. And with that being said, there was also another mysterious figure. Was it Chris Avani? That was funny. That was a self-insert. That was funny. It was Giovanni, essentially, from Team Rocket. Is he a good guy? What is he? Is he a good guy? Who knows? And at one point, Chris Avani bestows upon someone a grand egg. And when the egg hatches, it literally was a Munchlax with my face on it when I was a kid. It was so funny, dude. Like, that's like a bit of humor that just came out of nowhere. And he didn't want to raise a kid, so he gave it to someone else, acting like it's gonna be like the next like savior and the next like lord and like the next like Arceus type figure. But it was just like he found a Snorlax and went like, that's kind of hot. And then he gave him the egg because he didn't want to have to raise a kid. That was the reality of it. But that was just like a funny thing. I didn't really do that too. I did that in like the small things, but like the actual main story, we never really made. It was more serious. But it was really cool. It was pretty much, it's like you had 2 massive islands and then tons of mini islands, and you got to pick which island you lived on and which section of the island you lived on. And each island was formed and shaped after a Pokemon. So we had Murkrow Island. We had what islands we had? We had like a Gorbis and Huntail Islands. And then we were slowly adding more islands as time went by. And these islands you explore, you'd probably find the Pokemon 99% of the time on the island if it's shaped off the island, off the Pokemon. And with that being said, we had tons of stories. And like one of them was, at one point, we went to this volcanic island to stop a volcano from exploding, I believe, and wiping out the local population. The local population didn't tell us that there was a lowland Marowaks in that were like ancient blood tribes that like would sacrifice people to the volcano. But really all that was doing was accelerating the explosion of the volcano because they're not smart enough to understand that. They only saw it as a fire deity. And so they captured one of our people, essentially. And we're going to, put them into the volcano. So people snuck in. And the person snuck out of the cell that got captured in the group. And the person that was watching was a lowland Marowak that was, like, ancient and blind. And could only really tell by if they were close enough. So they had to sneak past that. Had to do a check to see if they could get past it. And it came into this huge battle. And it was really cool. It was like a fun, unique battle. Off the top of my head, we just did it really fast. And it was like an hour or two. It was great. Then we had one where we went to a island that looked like a giant tree. And we found we started climbing the trees to find that we need a special item at the top. It was a gold apple, I think, or something, or like a gold whatever, probably like a fruit from Pokemon that gave you probably, I can't remember the context of it, but they wanted it, the people did. Halfway through the tree, they get attacked by Apoms, they get attacked by other Pokemon, and as they're scaling the tree more and more, they're starting to realize something's not right. And as they get to the top of the tree, they see a big coconut head. It's an Alolan Executor. And all the trees around are Gigantamaxed Alolan Executors. And they're just kind of like getting to be like, hey, are Dynamaxed. Like, hey, you're on our island, and we're going to fuck you up now. Luckily, everyone beat them. Everyone was able to catch an Alolan Executor, Gigantamaxed, or Dynamaxed. It was a cool thing. It had a lot of unique, things. Another one was, we went to an island. We're going through. There's tons of thorns and vines all over the place. Just you couldn't really move without getting pricked and whatnot. And as you go deeper, it's like a dark, decayed forest. You're like, what's going on? And you start hearing ghostly whispers and whatnot. And then you see a phantom float past. You're like, oh, what the fuck? And all of a sudden you realize those thorns are from Trevenants. And now those thorns are active and they're starting to whip at you and starting to tangle you. And they luckily, one person had a sword, so they used their sword just to straight up kill a Trevenant, just cut it right in half. And it was cool. That was fun. I forgot what else there was, but there was a lot of stuff like that, because that happened 2-3 years ago now, and it's just soft memories coming back that I can remember. And a lot of this was off the top of my head, so it wasn't like I planned out those minor battles. Another one was they got chased by some Pokemon, got put into a cave. It collapsed in on them. All of a sudden, there's Zubats in there. Now there's the other cave had Noibats in there, and it's oh god, there's a Noivern at the end of this. As they broke through the cave, they got to a clearing in the middle where all the tubes led to, and ended up being a Pokemon in there. Don't remember which one, but it was cool. It was cool. Had a lot of stuff. So I became Mpreg. Yeah, he did. full length in my Zora. Well, funny, I'm gonna try retcon if we do. Yeah, no, that'll be retcon. That was just to prove a point. Don't go against my story. Yeah, 2 Noivern runs. That's what it was. And then every time you could do a shiny check, whenever you encounter a Pokemon, you do a roll to see if you got shiny. And I gave people that donated more, they had a higher chance to get shiny. so Crystal like always got a shiny because she donated a lot. It was funny. It was funny. Crystal was so mean, dude. She was a menace. Crystal's like such a nice sweetheart, and she'll do a lot for her friends. But the moment you get her into a game where she can just be evil and there's no consequences, she's gonna do it. Like, she'll always be caring and helpful to her friends up until the point where she can just fucking annoy you. We'll play Halo, and she'll just, oh, whoops, didn't mean to throw a grenade at you. Whoops, didn't mean to run you over with a car. Shit like that. It's funny, though. It's funny, though. Oh, excuse me. But maybe we'll do something now that there's like ancient Pokemon. Now that there's Legends ZA, maybe we can implement that into, you know, the D&D story to some extent. I would just love to do something with this. The problem is, I could be spending that time trying to figure out ways to make money, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's not for sure. I'm gonna say, like, in general, it's just funny because most people, you know, they kind of like, they'll play nice and always play nice, but all of a sudden you have that one out of pocket that just fucks you the whole time. They're just evil. I do in Scuffed Ghosts. Yeah, I love shiny hunting. I haven't been shiny hunting because Scarlet Violet really just killed my soul because I didn't like the shiny hunt in it, but I've been craving it for so long. Over seeing people with 6 screens and resetting while they're doing nothing. Yeah, are you talking about like the ones that like speed up? That like speed up the game and whatnot too on TikTok and whatnot, and they just cheat. I hate that. I hate that. I saw it on TikTok. I don't know if it's on YouTube, but I actually generally like it because I'll have tons of screens and play, but I'll talk. I'm very good at talking while doing multitasks like this. So I love playing multiple screens, but I only have a few DSs now. I had to sell a lot of my stuff. Well, I have all my DSs. I just don't have my games. I have enough, but I don't know. My DSs are dead or something. I have another one next to me. But I see a lot of people, they just sit there and they just don't do anything, or they just read the chat, but like in like a monotone way, and they're just like cheating and emulating. Which if you emulate, that's fine. I feel like nowadays it's okay to emulate because it's expensive. But to speed up the progression of the game to shiny hunt, that's wild to me. That is like you're just like trying to fit in and trying to like just grift off of shiny hunting. You don't actually care about what you're doing. You just kind of want the attention. And I hate that. I think people that just speed up and emulate like that are just attention-seeking people that want to get clicks and get views and don't care about the art. Which I've seen a lot of that on TikTok, and that's what made me go, like, I need to start actually playing again because I hate those people. I want to vent about them, which not like the main reason why. I just miss shiny hunting Gen 5. I've been trying hunting really in BSP for like 100 hours, 2 weeks. Woo! This is what I get taunting Crystal and her spirit team. Yeah. I wish I could play that game. I just don't have the setup at the moment. In a week, I might have a setup to start running some switches, but I only have I think 2 or 3 switches now. I don't have 6 anymore, so I don't even know which games I have left to shiny hunt on. So if I can get BDSP, maybe I'll do it. Yes, the guys using emulators with the auto reroll. That's crazy. I know there's an auto reroll. I thought they had to at least do some stuff. That's insane. I had my personal. Yeah. Oh my god, I forgot about the dude. I forgot about that. That is so funny. So you're new, Scuff. So you probably don't. To preface it, I used to run a D&D campaign for Pokemon. I was the dungeon master. I built this massive world. That was still being built and whatnot, and we had, I let people play in the Discord and let people that watched me play, they could join, and I was really accommodating. So that being said, if you're wondering what I'm talking about in a second, it's the premise of the Dungeons and Dragons Pokemon world I built, and Andrea, she was a cat in it, so Meowth, there was a Chris Avani guy, which was a Giovanni fused with me, but didn't look like me, just like the idea, like that's my self-insert as a funny thing. Well, he has a Meowth. He doesn't have a Persian yet, and that Meowth had a crush on Crystal, so he kept sending like her like texts and whatnot. And at one point, he sent himself a bikini pic to her. It was like, whoa, that's crazy bikini pic. Because I found like a fan pic that someone drew Meowth like really poorly in, with like a bikini, and it had like he was packing. So that being said, he kept like harassing her, and like she was just really nice to him because she felt bad. He's like trying to like go out with her. That was so funny. And he like sent edited pictures of himself sometimes. Oh, I forgot about that. That's so good. That I do think about that Meowth picture a lot because it's so ridiculous. If you can find that Meowth picture, can you send it to me, Andrea? I can't show it on streams. I don't know what it can be. I can't. Oh my god. Time someone joined who wasn't in the game. They didn't leave when you asked. And you had to mute or block them. Yeah, I think that was probably. I think it was Tryhard, because he wouldn't stop being annoying. I said, Tryhard, don't come into my D&D server to say that this is cringe and then just be a jerk and then leave. But then you go and play Pokemon. Like you're just as cringe then. Tryhard was killing me during that time. I think he was just jealous because he couldn't play. He didn't have enough time. That's what it really came down to. I think he even said that. Like he's like, man, it's just not fair. Yeah, no, it was cool. I had a lot of stories. I might make a story, a video that explains the backstory. The problem is that like a lot of it was free form, just in thought, and we built pictures and we had things, we drew pictures, and we had things set up. I just didn't have an idea of how to like. Because I love making stories to some extent, but not really. I love the idea of having a grand story and building a story and being like subversive and like making things not seem what it seems. The problem is I have to type that all up then, and I'm sitting there and I have to read the script then, and I'm like a perfectionist, so if I read it, I need to be like professional with it, and I just don't want to do that right now because I feel like they won't get any views. Because like, why would I put 10,000 hours into something and not get views? If I put 10 hours, even just 10 hours into making this one video and it gets like 20, 50, 100 views, not going to feel good. So I'm trying to wait till I have a time where I can rebuild my audience after not streaming for like 2 years or a year and something. I think it was like almost 2 years of actual like continuous streaming to where I can make this a thing again. And maybe Legends will fix that, because honestly, I don't know what's going to happen with my health situation. I know what's going to happen with my... I feel like I also don't know, because a lot of them doesn't know. I have cancer. Luckily, it's good. It's going to be hopefully just surgery, and we're fine for the most part. But I'll be out of doing anything for almost 2 months. And I have a very bad back. I have like a pars defect, Schoener's. I broke it twice, and I have some other problem with it that I don't even know. I just don't want to pay. I just don't want to know about it because it makes me like go like, oh, that sucks. I don't want to be a victim of it and like bring it up to people. I bring it up so people can understand, but I don't even know the full extent how bad it is. But you also have to get an MRI. But the point is, I don't know where I'm going to be at within the next 5 months. So I don't want to start something and then not be able to fully flush it out. And I don't want to commit to things and not be able to fully flush it out because I don't know what's going to happen within a time. And on top of that, a lot of time will be put into it, like I put into other stuff. But at the same time, I'll have a lot of time on my hands after the surgery. So we'll see. How you doing, Tubbs? Yeah, I want a Gen 5 remake. I love the idea of a Legends ZA. I just think at the moment it's the biggest goof up because how they're handling it. It should have been Legends Arceus type stuff. It should have been in the past. I do have good hopes though, because they brought Tepig in, and there was hints that they want to make a Let's Go Gen 5, which I'd be down for. I love Gen 5, favorite gen. I love the Let's Go games. I think they just were not utilized right. I love everything about the Let's Go games except for the lack of Pokemon. That was the biggest problem, was lack of Pokemon. And I need a few more shiny hunting methods. But with that being said, they bring Tepig back into this, which then can be segued into having a Let's Go remake of Gen 5, which I personally like a BDSP remake, but point being that at least we could get something, because Let's Go brought in Mega Evolution. So I'm hoping that this kind of springboards us into getting a Let's Go I don't know, Unova or something, and then at least we'll get that. I would like a BDSP. I don't want to modernize one because I feel like they need to remake the game fully updated before they make it into like a Scarlet and Violet, before they make it into like an Arceus. Let's Go is fine too because it keeps the core elements of like fixed camera angles, no crazy looking around movements. Very like simplistic stuff. I just like them keeping it within this. That's why I plan on doing Andre at some point, because the idea was I was going to have the Gengar and the Snorlax faction war with each other, but then have a secondary threat that's something like the Gen 6 ZA or AZ war back in the day. So I have thought about that. But also, this could be a good time to capitalize off of the Pokemon Legends ZA announcement. I could capitalize on this and start making a D&D series based off of that. The problem is we haven't got enough info yet, and also, it's only going to be in the city, it seems like so far. And that's my biggest problem I have, is that if this is only going to be in the city and maybe one other area, if that's going to suck. If we don't get to go into the sewer system to find, like, muck, sludge everywhere, like coffee and trubbish, stuff like that, I'll be extremely upset, because that is the most crucial part of the city, is the sewer. It is the most, like, pivotal thing that causes the free flow of waste and water, and also the waste from your actual house. The sewers are so important to a city. Without a city, sewer system, you'd have it like back in like the early like 1600s, 1700s, where it was like famine would pop up randomly, plagues would pop up before the 1600s too. But I'm saying like it stopped because they started getting a sewer system, garbage collection. So I would love to see the sewers implemented in Legends ZA. Will we though? I don't know. We only went to the sewers once, and that was in Gen 2. Or Gen 5, I mean. I don't think we've ever been into a sewers outside of that. So I hope that if we're stuck in the city, we at least get, like the sewer system, because there's a lot of dark type Pokemon could go on there, and normal type Pokemon, Rattatas, Coffeens, gas Pokemon. It's like, it has such potential. But I doubt we'll get a sewer system, because Pokemon's too one-dimensional now. And so, yeah, so my whole point with the Legends ZA is I want to see more stuff come of it. And I want to have multiple areas, not just a cityscape. But I don't know if we're going to get that. So I'm kind of frustrated, because I feel like Gen 6 and Gen 5 are the best, because they have like the best environments. They have the most like rememberable environments. Like Black City would have been way cooler than Luminos City. Luminos City, the idea of it's cool, because it's like a whole bunch of shopping there, tons of like areas and whatnot. It's a really big city. Cars are involved and whatnot. It's like a cool city, but I think Black City looks cooler. It looks like more like malevolent. Looks wicked. Looks goated, honestly. Let's see. Praying for a Johto remake. The best thing to look at is probably Infinite Fusion's thing. For me, I don't want a Johto remake. We've already got Heart Gold Soul Silver. I want a Let's Go Johto, which is not inherently a remake. It's like, it's a retelling, because I guess it's remaking the game, so it is a remake. It's not. It'd be like a remastered. Is what most people want. So I would want a remake, as in Let's Go Johto, and then eventually get like a Scarlet and Violet. But I want Let's Go Johto first, then like a Scarlet and Violet type, or Legends Arceus type of game, where it's just like how you move and throw Pokeballs and whatnot. I want something like that, obviously. But right now, it's like I want Let's Go, because I feel like Let's Go, or Gen 2 is like the best. Anything from Gen 1 through Gen 5 can be easily made into a Let's Go game that would work. Gen 6 could work as well, because it wasn't a 3D that had routes, fixed camera angles. But once you get into Gen 7, it's a lot harder to do a Let's Go game, because you're looking at all these different angles. And Let's Go, the reason why it was so fun for me is that it was fixed camera angles. You couldn't move the camera angle. You had to walk to move the camera angle. So after Gen 6, you can't really build a Let's Go game that's like Let's Go. You can make a Let's Go game, but it's not going to be Let's Go in particular, unless they were to default all the areas like they did to in Let's Go. Like if they made it to where if you went in the wild area, it's one big fixed camera angle, or a top down, like maybe like a top down like a BDSP is different. But the thing is, you can move around the camera angle, and it would be kind of a step back, because why would you go from fixed camera angles to have a moving camera, then back to fixed camera angles? 90% of people would be like, that's complete bullcrap. Why can't we look around the environment? Which, it's not what Let's Go's about. Let's Go's about capturing the Pokemon, shiny hunting, chill in an area and keep capturing a Pokemon over and over again, build up your streak and your combo. It's about completing the Pokedex and trying to fully complete it. That's why I love Let's Go. When I say fully, they wanted you to the shinies. They made a few shiny hunting methods. They didn't lock anything except for Mew, I believe. It was a fully huntable game, and it was so beautiful. And there wasn't that many Pokemon, so you could complete the decks. And you could actually complete the shiny decks almost by catching each of the Pokemon individually outside of like Venusaur, Ivysaur, Wartortle, Blastoise. But you could catch what's it called? Charizard. You could catch Charmander. You could catch almost every evolution of a Pokemon except for a few. And that made it to where it was more rewarding, and it felt like you actually hunted those Pokemon. Because to me, I don't like evolving my Pokemon. I don't like taking them to the next level and evolving them, because I no longer have that one Pokemon I originally caught. I now have the next level, but I don't have a shiny Oddish no more. So I'd rather catch a shiny Oddish than catch a shiny Weeping Bell, or it's not Weeping Bell, Gloom, I mean, and then catch a shiny Vileplume, and then eventually evolve up into a Blossom if I can't catch it. But they also made it to where you could catch things that would require normal evolutions that normally wouldn't be accessible in the wild. So to me, it's like that stuff is so interesting to me with Let's Go, how well it was implemented. And I wish they'd do it again. The one thing I will say that kind of annoyed me, they didn't have like Wild Vaporeon, Wild Jolteon, Wild Flareon. They should have put a Jolteon in the power plant. That would have been so wicked. A Vaporeon in Seafoam Island, top tier. And then Moltres should have been at like I would say Blaine's area, but that was Seafoam Island in that area. There's no like real fire area. You say Victory Road, which I think would be fair. Yeah, probably Victory Road would be the ideal thing. I think the big problem I had that I didn't like about Let's Go is that they didn't have Safari Zone. Now, granted, the whole game's Safari Zone, but I wanted the Safari Zone to have exactly certain Pokemon there, or have it to where you could implement new Pokemon every week. Like each week, you'd add in like another Pokemon from like Gen 2 or something. So I just don't think they implemented a long-term reason for Let's Go, and it was really short-sighted. Let's see. Sorry if I was just rambling, but that's like how I kind of feel about shiny hunting with like certain aspects of how I want certain games to be for foreseeable futures before they get like a remake. You know, let's see. What I mean, yeah. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, good. If we do end up redoing it and reboot the game to an extent, I'll probably just change my old guy I played with. Anyway, yeah, it's fine. Let's see. I play they don't make another chibi style game like PS. Oh, I love that game. Personally, I think that's like one of the top tier shiny hunting games in the last like couple of years. Chikorita and Totodile, they could have sub one for either Pleo or Grookey. Yeah, I would have liked Grookey over Chikorita, 100%. Chikorita, 100%. Kind of the thing is that I'd rather get Chikorita out of the way and not have to worry about it in the future, and having a game that's not that important and seems like it might kind of be kind of crappy. Like Legends ZA looks like it could be a mixed bag. So if they kind of mess up a starter, not a big deal for me. Very happy about Totodile. Totodile's one of my favorite starters. And Tepig's pretty decent too, but also could lead us into a Gen 5 remake. So I'm rather half and half on this this setup right now of the starters. I think 2 of them are good, and then the Chikorita. People love Chikorita. It's weird. People love Chikorita, so I'll give it to them, I guess, you know. At least not another Charmander, something like that. Which, you know, maybe we'll get another Charizard Z, which honestly I wouldn't mind seeing. I kind of want to see Venusaur's going to be cool to get a evolution of him back, and Blastoise. I like their starters a lot for the evolutions. Megas. Did we get a Delphox in Chestnut's evolution? I can't say its name right now. It's like, I know what it is, it's escaping me. Chestnut. I don't fucking know. They didn't get a Mega. They didn't get a Mega, right? Greninja got a Mega through Ash, right? But they never got Megas. Am I right on that, or am I wrong? Because I don't remember. Excuse me. Honestly, I love the aesthetics of Mega evolutions, but Chestnut, I think his name is Chestnut. No, Chestnut. Chespin's the first one, then Quilladin, and then Chestnut. Okay, yeah, it's Chestnut. Chespin's the first one. But Chestnut is the actual final evolution, I believe. But I never actually really used the Megas because it took too long of an animation. I got bored. but I love it for the extended play of it. Like I love like having an action figure of like a Mega. I love the idea that a Mega is a power up version and gets a different change and whatnot. So yeah, OG Safari Zone's cool. I'd love to see some more stuff like that. But honestly, it's like everything's just Safari Zone now. Now we have an open world. Everything's just Safari. Like, what's so special about Safari Zone? The reason why Safari Zone was so special, it was a unique area that housed very rare Pokemon like Chansey and Kangaskhan. That's what made it like entertaining, and I think through fishing, that's what made it really rare. And also, you had a chance to fail it, which I didn't like. That I think that was a big problem with it. I think there should be a way that you can fail it, but they can't run away. Like if you run out Pokeballs or you damage it by throwing food at it or something, or throwing a rock at it. I think it needs a more unique system and not have a flea system, because I don't like the chance of failing something, especially if it ends up being shiny. That's really irritating. But yeah, I feel like we need a purpose for that. And it was like a century. Safari Zones were a sanctuary, and they limited to you what you were supposed to catch. So you could only catch the Pokemon, like that's like the lore behind it, that were preserved, and only when you allowed it and you paid a fee. Because then they could take that fee and put it into feeding those Pokemon, expanding the Safari Zone. It made sense. It was cool. People really sleep on the idea of why Safari Zone was important to the world of Pokemon. But anyways, with that being said, I guess that makes also the lore behind the fleeing more sense. They want to make it more rare. So they don't want everyone to go in there and get a Chansey, because they're not going to come back to get a Chansey. And then there'll be no Chanseys. So, yeah, they had to fucking do that. Yeah, I like Tepig. I think I used to not like it. When it first came out, I liked Superior. And then I was like, wow, Superior sucks compared to the other two. I don't like Samurott that much. I don't really like how he looks. He just kind of looks weird. I never really liked him too much. I have an action figure of him. It's kind of a cool one, but I just don't really care for Samurott. I think that's like the dumbest one. That's one of my he's probably in like the top 5 of dumbest starters. For me, it goes Chestnut is cool, but he's forgettable. Super forgettable. So he might be in the top 10 forgettables. And just not like that great. Chikorita in its evolution line, hate that. Put that up there. Emboar's decent. Emboar's cool. Charmander's cool. Bulbasaur's cool. Squirtle's cool. Totodil's goated. Cyndaquil, the more I look at Typhlosion, the more ugly he looks. So I put him in especially if he doesn't have the fire, he looks like a loofah. He looks like a thing that you scrub yourself with in the shower. He looks like a big tub of lard, dude. He doesn't have enough facial features, and he's too round and bulbous. Like when you actually look at Typhlosion, and it's not like a cool artwork of him, he looks kind of dumb, especially if he doesn't have his flames on. So I'm very half and half. If he's not having flames, not flaming on, it's not a flamer, then he goes in the ugly category. Stupid starter. Gen 3, Trico, everything's good there. Blaziken is pretty good. Yeah, everything's good there. There's no misses on that one. Trico Mudkip, all goated. Mega Swampert, top tier, super goated. He just turns into a big bodybuilder. Gen 4, Gen 4, let me think. Turtwig, goated. Piplup, oh yeah. Piplup is not the coolest, but Empoleon. Chimchar's ugly. Infernape is ugly, but he has some cool moments. So I would put him in the kind of the cringe area. Infernape, he has cool moments. If you get him in the right angle, he's goated. But outside of that, he looks dumb. Monferno, gross, dude. Monferno's Monobrow, or whatever it's called, horrible choice. What were they thinking? So I hate that guy. I want to hit him with a brick. Gen 5, we already went through. Gen 6, Poplio. Brian, is that his name? And then it evolves into... She's kind of... What's her name again? It sucks because I used to know every single Pokemon, but as you stop collecting and playing, you literally forget. It's kind of crazy. No, not Fion. That's fucking Pokemon. Jirachi wannabe. Or not Jirachi, Manaphy. Brianna? No. Brianna is... I don't want to look at the chat because I don't want to I'm just gonna try to remember it later. Let's see. How about... I skipped Gen 6 because I didn't bring up Delphox. Delphox is great. They're awesome. Greninja goated. Chestnut looks cool. Middle form horrible. Has the Monferno vibe. I'm not looking at chat because I don't want to get spoiled if it. I'm not spoiled, but get told what it is because I know what it is. Gen 6. Yeah, I don't like. I think it's like Luminous or something. Luminous or something. I feel like it is. I don't remember its name. Greninja good. Who's the other one? Gen 6? Or Gen 7, I mean. I'm all over the place right now. Oh, Rowlet. Rowlet, that's a good one. Yeah. His evolution line. Awesome. And then who else do we get? Oh, Litten. I don't like, hey, I'm not a furry. I don't like the cat guy. I don't like Incineroar, okay? I'm not a furry, guys. I don't like Incineroar. Look, I think that he looks kind of cool, and he does this little tiny, like, weird dance thing. So I'm like, okay, he's kind of cool. But also, like, he's like a Mucha Lucha type guy, and he's like a wrestler, which I think is kind of dumb. So I don't really like him that much. But I think he looks decent. He doesn't look bad. Then we have Gen 8. I'm still not looking at the chat to see her name. I feel like it starts with a D, or like an S or an L. What's the thing? What's the name? Gen 7. Gen 7? Gen 8. Gen 8. Grookey goated. Cinerace or whatever. And that dude, not that great. Kind of dumb, but he's okay. His Gigantamax is kind of dumb with the big airs, but the big ball's cool. The big fireball's cool. And then who's the other guy? Grookey, Drookie, and Snooky. No, it's just Score Bunny. Oh, Inteleon. Boy, like a gay slave, dude. That guy looks like a gay James Bond, dude. I can't do it, man. I can't do him, dude. He looks kind of cool sometimes, but he looks too sus. Sobble's cute. But Inteleon looks like a gay James Bond. It's hard. What else is there? Then there's Gen 9, right? Yeah, Gen 9. We're not gonna do Legend Stars. They don't count. Gen 9. I forgot. Oh, Sprigadude, Meowscarada. Meowscarada looks cool. I think if I was a furry, I'd say she's hot, but I'm not, so I'm not gonna say that. Then we have the Crocodile, dude. That guy's so cool. The Crocodile's awesome. Forgot his name. Crocodile's goated. Who's the other guy? Oh, and then we have the actual gay dancing bird. I hate that thing. Ooh, I hate that thing. Okay. Ooh, I hate that thing. Love the Crocodile, though. Okay, let me go up. I don't think anyone actually put the name. Dewott was cool. Okay, no one actually put in the name of the Gen 6 person. Or Gen 7 person. Mariana? Primarini. I think it was called Primarini. Oh my god, I'm such a genius. Is that his name? Probably not. No, Primarini is, I think. I think it's something else. I think that's the Oh, no, that's Toxapex. And then Marini is the other one. Was it Primarini or Primarani or something? Gen 7 water starter? Not starter, but the last evolution. I know it was Poplar, though. Yeah, Primarini. Yeah, awesome. I'm so goated for that. I had to get back into knowing all the Pokemon again. I don't even know all the Pokemon from the new gen, honestly. I got out of it. Like I said, it ruined it for me. And I love Pokemon, like the idea of having more and more Pokemon. I love that. I'll never say there's too many Pokemon. I would like to see more forms of Pokemon. Like, I'm still waiting for a female version of Murkrow that could be used as the Gen 2 beta sprite, because it has like a witch's hat, and then it could be a Witchly Honchkrow type, and then you'd have the Pimp Crow, and then you'd have the female version, which is like a witch. Are they going to do that? They are not going to do that, and instead they're going to just ruin it. I would love to see a female version of like a Honchkrow type, different name obviously. It has a wand and it has a really cool hat and huge tits too. Huge plumage. That's a joke. That's funny. Huge breast meat for the new Honchkrow female version. That's crazy. I don't like the Paradox that much. The Future and Paradox stuff, the Future and Ancient ones, I don't really like them. I think there's cool ones, don't get me wrong. But overall, I'm like, because Iron Valent's Trekion, right? And I think that one just kind of looks mid. I'm not, like, against it as a lore aspect. But I just don't really, like, I think, like, it's possible. It's cool. The idea of it's cool. I just don't think some of them look as good. Some of them don't look as good, I would say. Excuse me. Who looks really good? Oh, that's the it's Gallade and Gardevoir. Okay. Yeah, I don't like the idea of that. I hate that. Fusing a boy and girl together to make the ultimate hermaphroditic robot. Not a fan. But he can look kind of cool. They can look kind of cool. Can't really call it him. Yikers. But yeah, I like the idea of something like, but I wasn't really sold on it. My favorite is I love the Tyrant. Okay, do you want the Tyranitar looks goated. Tyranitar looks awesome, not gonna lie. Robot Tyranitar. He looks cool. He's cool. Delibird, that was fun. That was cute, funny. Big fan of that. Who else? From the future. Who else future ones are cool? Give me all the Pokemon that have just their normal games from the future. Not their, like, just say they're normal ones. I can remember it. I'll get refreshed. Because I can't think of a lot of them. I know that there was a few. Yeah, that he looks good. Tyranitar Robot, I want them to make a really good figure for him. At first, I was like, oh, man, I don't know if I feel about that. And I'm like, do you know what? This is awesome. This is awesome. Mechatar. It's me, Mechatar. I've always wanted to see a robotic one after he came and they showed off one in that black and white too in the film place. I always want to see something. So having one actually show up was cool. I wish it looked more like the black and white 2 and black and white Mecha Tyranitar, but I'll still take the futuristic one. The problem I have with it, it's too futuristic. It's too sleek. It's too modern idea of future, which I don't like. The really clean, really everything has an exact purpose. I do not like that. I like the more chaotic future where it's a bit more complex, or not as complex and more like rough around the edges, and looks like it's more like ancient future. I like that more. Yeah, I think I would assume they might. That's why, like, I feel like the idea of Z and A being in the future is cool because you have more future Pokemon, more Paradox type Pokemon, but they just aren't called Paradox. They're just modern day Pokemon at that point. Because who knows how far it is, but it seems like it's gonna be pretty far in the future. I personally am happy we have that compared to, oh, look we're getting rifts to bring back future Pokemon again, because that's just like idea that's cool, but I'd rather just go to the future and I go to a portal that takes me to the future. Do you know how cool it would have been if you could just teleport to the ancient times and see like really crazy ancient lands? I'd much rather have that than have them just teleport to us. And I think that's such a cop-out. They have the money. We go to the ground zero, which looks kind of cool. But could you imagine going to like a Jurassic Park type area? Like a fucking Jurassic period, whatever the fuck is. I don't know my periods for dinosaurs. And seeing those, going to jungles that are beautiful and lush and like tons of fauna. Danger on every corner. They could have done that. But instead they said, let's just make as much money with as little as possible. And thus, they made that happen. Because later on, they made all those other areas. It's ideal and good. Ideas was cool, but like with DLC, but still not that great. Yeah, like a BattleTech. Yeah, I'd really see like a BattleTech, like more like rough around the edges, more like cool looking, Robotech type style. Much rather see that than very clean, sterile. I'm going to do a R in game because it would be too violent when it's an R. What are you talking about? Boop. You mean like an R-rated game, like an M-rated game? Or you mean something even crazier, depending on how you use that R? War. Oh, okay. War. Oh. Yeah, no. No, I don't think they would. They bring it up here and there, but they would never actually. And it's sad because it's not even a big deal. It's a part of life. It's a part of life, you know? So it's like, why can't we have it? Like a kids game. They have war in kids games a lot. Kids play tug of war. People play war the card game where you battle each other. Like war is not a foreign concept to kids. Battling, but the thing is that they want to make kids kind of like sludge people and be babies for the rest of their lives. They want to infantilize them. So that's why we don't get war. That's why we don't get war. Because the Pokemon Company can't be like, oh, we don't want to have violent elements, but then every single story is about the fucking world being destroyed by an unknown catastrophe that isn't war. Okay, guy. Like, okay, fucking Game Freak. Fucking stupid, dude. And they had Dynasty Warriors before Pokemon, so it's not like it's far off. Like, their Pokemon beating the hell out of each other until they get knocked out. Tell me that they can't do war. That's why the company's like, it's too violent, it's too excessive, it's a tough subject matter. Yeah, beating an animal to death almost is a tough subject matter, but yet here we are. Pokemon Conquest. They had a game called Pokemon Conquest on the DS that was goated, and it's just about conquesting and taking over worlds, areas and whatnot. Yeah. What did everyone love about? Do you guys remember? And I think it was like, I don't remember what it was called, like Pokemon. It was a Pokemon one where it was a retelling of the red version, and they made an animation for it, 5 episodes. And in the first episode, Squirtle bit Charmander, and in the Japanese version, it had a screaming at the top of its lungs, like uncomfortable like type of like scream you wouldn't hear normally. And then they took it out for the English version. Like, that was crazy. Like, that was so, like, memorable. Like, the pain that Charmander went through was so funny. It's not funny. It was, like, the thing that they actually did that was crazy. But, was so, like, it felt impactful. Like, it was screaming at the top of his lungs as it was getting his face chewed into. And we need stuff like that again. Yeah, Pokemon Evolutions, I think it was like that. Yeah, I think it was something like that, yeah. It was like Pokemon Evolutions. It wasn't Pokemon Chronicles. I think it was something like Evolutions. Like, we can have mature, like, elements in a TV show / animation. Easy. They could do it. But they don't. I mean, look at how cool the promos were for, I think it was Gen 5 or Gen 6. And it had, like, the Gen 5 when you're on the boat and they were battling with Superior, Samurott, and they were like beating up those Pokemon, like slamming into them, blasting into them. It was such a cool like 4-minute video. When they just actually make high intense battles, brutal battles, and they make things where it's like they're not worrying about saying like the standard of ESRB, you know, they make such good content. They make such beautiful content. But instead there always has to be like a purpose and a meaning behind why we did stuff. I hate that about society now. Everything has to have a meaning to it. Everything has to have this or that. And it's so annoying. Oh, 1 second. Oop, sorry. I had to I don't know if it's still going. Okay. I listed an item, but then I unlisted it and then I relisted again. And I had to make sure it didn't sell because I'd have to cancel it and mess up my stuff. Yeah, exactly. Pokemon had Arbok split in half. In that same manga, they had a dilapidated dead Psyduck with its eye and face melting away. Goated stuff, dude. It was memorable. It was brutal. That stuck with me in my life. And I thought, like, how cool we can make something. But then they decided, oh, it's too violent. It gave Kid Nightmare before. oh no, one time we gave a kid a seizures, and now we can't ever do anything with flashing lights. And now every game has to have 50 warning labels, and it's like, dude, can we be adults here? Half of your audience is adults now. To think that it's not, it's probably, I'd probably say it's like 40% adults, 60% kids. But who's buying it? Adults are. Who has to willingly consume it? Adults, like through like watching their kid do stuff, and a good amount of them eventually get into it because their kid likes it, but they don't stay into it because it is once again a baby thing. But if they actually had some adult content where it's like, you know, brutal, it's intense, then we'd probably get more, and we get more mature stories. But no, it just sucks. It sucks so much, dude. It sucks so much. Too much baby diarrhea duty, poopy poopy. Sucks so much. Yeah, that was in I think black and white. That was in black and white manga. And that was taken, I believe, relatively fast and not shipped over here. Or it got like in trouble once they did ship over here. Because it was like crucifixion, and that's not something you should do inherently. Especially when you're trying to like beat the allegations of like Pokemon's not the Antichrist. I mean, they got rid of that a while ago, but for a long time, evolution, certain like Christian groups were pretty upset about it. It wasn't actually really a big thing. People like blew it out of proportion, but this was during like the Satanic Panic. But yeah, it's also the thing, rightfully so. I mean, you look at the Satanic Panic and all the stuff they said that would happen now, it kind of has happened. A lot of the stuff they said now they didn't want actually end up happening, and you know, Satanism is more in the mainstream than it ever has been, and so it's like people always were like, "Oh, the Satanic Panic was a horrible thing," and people were just getting overly, what's it called, up in arms over bullshit. It's like, well, I mean, let's kind of see where we're at now and see where we feel about that. But that's not the point of the conversation. I just thought that was funny. Like the idea that people are they're acting crazy for the sake of being crazy and religious. It's like, well, look at where we're at now and look at what they were saying and what they didn't want to happen, and literally more so happened than what they were saying. Not that it's a good thing or bad thing, because I know a lot of people, especially people that watch and they're like, oh, I'm okay with a lot of stuff they have. That's fine. But just being like, it's just funny that people are like calling it the Satanic Panic. But now it's like, yeah, that's what they were trying to avoid of a lot of events that happened today. So when people act like it's just like they were being like delusional, well, what they said did come true. Excuse me. Which is just funny. It's just funny to like have that observation. Yeah, instead of monster, Pokemon Hunter. Oh gosh. Man, I'd recommend. 1 second. Man, picking up Infinite Fusions is free. You know, I don't like playing ROM games. I don't actually care for Pokemon games. Playing them, I hate playing actual Pokemon games. If I'm being honest, I don't like battling. I never have fun with battling. I always say it's the worst part of Pokemon. I just like shiny hunting. So, I do appreciate the recommendation. I do not play. I mean, I think a randomizer could be fun for like 5 minutes for me, and then I go, wow, this is inconsistent, and I'm fucked. I don't know what's going to happen next. I hate that. But I like shiny hunting, which also, ironically, is something that happens randomly, and I don't know what's going to happen next, but it's in a good way. It's a rewarding way. But yeah, I'm just not a fan of it. Nice, Pokemon would have done well in the US. Yeah. I mean, during the 90s, had its huge explosion. Then 2005 is when it really was dying. 2000 and like Gen 4 was getting, or Gen 4? Yeah, Gen 4 was really not doing good. And then it has resurgent with Gen 5. And people are like, whoa, this is kind of fun. Who cares what people think? Because people really, back in the day, it really was like if you brought a DS to your school or like a Game Boy Advance, people were scared they're gonna get like made fun of, which some people were. But then people just kind of realized, oh, that's kind of cool. And then we kind of like lost our thing. Like the gaming culture was still really underground and nerdy. And if you were a gamer, you were gonna get kind of bullied. Back in like from 2007, 2000-ish, around there, before online gaming. So about 2005 below, it was seen as childish. And if you're in high school during that time or in middle school during that time, it was very taboo. And like you don't want to talk about it. Not good. With your friends, but you don't really want people to know that you're gaming. Then online happened. And then I was like, hell, dude, fucking Halo. This is goated, dude. Halo 3, you kidding me? Call of Duty, this is crazy. World of Warcraft, RuneScape, and we changed dynamics. And then they released Gen 5, which fully got to like flourish with this and fully got to be a part of this. And then that pretty much boomed it again. And then we had Gen 6, which brought tons of ways to shiny hunt and brought people into shiny hunting because, like I said before, I love the older games are a lot harder. But the reason why it's so good to have half odds, easier odds, is it brings a lot of normies in, a lot of people that have no patience, and a lot of people that would never ever think about shiny hunting. And they give them like, oh, hey, here's one easy. Here's an easy one. There's another easy one. Now you're kind of liking it. Now let's get you into something harder. Eventually those people will go into harder things if they like enough. But that's why I think like Pokemon Go, while I don't necessarily like it because it makes shinies too easy, it's good because it funnels people into playing the other games, which then let them play these games and whatnot, and it makes it to where there's more Pokemon games, which could lead to more hunts. It just so happens the last game was like the worst, and the game before that of the main game, it wasn't that great either for hunting. So it's like I'm at the point where it's like I don't really care if like the game like just kind of dies, and like but I would like to have them keep making content. But I would care. I don't even care. Like when I think of a new Pokemon game, it's like out of sight, out of mind, unless it's gonna be really good for shiny hunting. Because to me, it's like the game's already like garbage. I don't play competitive. The story has never been good since like Gen 6. Gen 6 essentially. And if it is a good story, it's because it's a remake. So that's kind of how I feel about it. Appreciate it, Wibbs. Appreciate that. I'm doing okay. Yeah, it will always live on. Even if it, sadly enough, even if it dies out the fan base, they will always have that. They will always have people creating stuff in that regards. I honestly don't think that like Pokemon could ever really die inherently. I think it'll always be like in like the consciousness. There's just too much. Just off of what SoulClick said, just that alone, it wouldn't cease on that. It would just keep, that alone would have its own. And maybe it would not be like mainstream, but it would still exist somewhere and be something that is actively made. So it's like, I don't think you could ever actually kill Pokemon, if we're being honest. Which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'll stream for a bit longer. I might head out pretty soon. Not having any look on these games, and I don't know, I'm kind of a little sleepy. I got to get some stuff done in the living room. Tomorrow, I'm visiting my nephew. I'm going to hang out with him after he gets out of school. Watch some Dragon Ball. Probably watch Sonic 3. Oh, I pushed the wrong button. Watch Sonic 3 with him, maybe. He likes that movie. We saw it in theaters. Sonic 3 was actually pretty good. The problem I have with Sonic 3 is they reference everything, dude. That movie is just reference the movie. All they do is reference something. Or they bring up the 90s or nostalgia bait. It is such a manufactured to be, hey guys, like, hey fellow kids. It is only the hey fellow kids of any movie at the moment for me. There's cool moments. The idea of it's cool. Fucking Keanu Reeves' lisp is horrible, dude. I can't do it. I don't like Keanu Reeves' lisp as Shadow. It's really bad. He sounds really stupid. A good movie though. I loved Eggman. Eggman is honestly, I think I loved Eggman so much that the movie was good for me. Because going back, I'm like, this movie is not that great. Like this is just a lot of reference jokes. I like the humans more in it than I liked the like Sonic in them. If that makes sense. Like the humans were goated in it. Yeah, he had like a slight like, hey guys, leave her alone. Like he was twisting his mouth to the side. And you can see it on his face, actually. He does twist his mouth aside. It's like a slight like, it's not Keanu Reeves talking like this. He's talking like this. And he has like his mouth twisted to the side a bit. And I hate it. And it's stupid. And I do not like Keanu Reeves. Just because of that. It's like a weird, like, I don't know how to explain it. It was once you realize it, it's really freaking annoying. Like when I watch movies, I fully like analyze everything in it, and I take it apart. I go, wow, this movie sucks. That happens like with 9% of movies. Sicario, go to the movie. That movie does not suck. Sicario, where they go down to Mexico and busting drug dealers and the cartel. Goated movie. Only good parts. That's the only movie that exists in my mind. No, I like when movies aren't perfect, but the Sonic the Hedgehog, the third movie was bullshit, dude. It was good, but it wasn't good. And people are just so used to shitty movies that when a decent movie comes through, they're like, "This is the best movie ever." You remember that one time when they did that one thing and it happened? And it's like, man, shut up. Man, shut up. Robotnik was goated though. That you will never. The thing that I hate is how like he's clearly like there's some like weird like semi masculine eroticism with Stone and like him. But everything's like so gay now that it can't just be like a weird bro combo. It has to be he's actually gay the whole time. And I hate that. I want it to be just like a bro that is like crazy. And then Stone can be gay, but Robotnik's not gay. Like he will never be gay. He's too goated. See you later, Andre. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Congrats on picking the job. But yeah, no, I see like Robotnik as a eccentric genius that is outside the norm. He is the 0.0001%. So his fruitiness, if there's any, his eccentricness, his emasculatedness, powered by his need to be better and be the best and have people give him attention. I see that as a flaw of his IQ and his lack of parental figures. That's what I see that as. I don't see it as him just being like, oh, he's just a gay guy that's smart. I think it's more complex, and people want to push an agenda. So they go, oh, he's just gay, dude. He's just gay, and him and Stone are gonna have a baby, and it's like, man, fuck you. Dr. Robotnik's gonna have a kid, and it's gonna be me. I'm Dr. Robotnik's kid. But yeah, with all that being said, I like Sonic 3 kind of. Is okay a little bit, I guess. It's kind of cool. What's the best Sonic game? Sonic Adventure 2, and that's it. I don't play any other Sonic games. I hate all other Sonic games. I want to play Generations, but honestly, it's not Sonic Adventure 2, so I really don't care. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle or Battle 2, I don't even know. That's the only game I ever play. I was playing it the other day. Dude, the controls for Xbox are so bad. I swore in front of my 5-year-old nephew really loud. Oh, fucking hate this game. I was like getting so pissed. He's like, uh-oh, you're not supposed to say that. I'm like, well, this game sucks. You have to like grind on the rails in a lot of missions, and half the time it's to your death. So it's too wonky on the Xbox controller. So like you like launch all over the place, the camera angle gets all messed up. It's not good. You can sign it. I won't be able to see it until later because I'm only on my phone right now. I got nothing else popped up. Dude, I'm so hungry. I have been fasting a lot and eating less calories. I lost 10 pounds in the last like 2 weeks probably. So I can't just eat. And the thing is that yesterday, I ate at the buffet and had a decent amount, not like a crazy amount like I normally eat, but I only had that buffet. That's all I ate. And I was on 17 hours of a fast, which means when you get to 16, that's perfect. Anything more is still good, but 16 is good. You don't have to really do more because it's not doing that much unless you're going to get into like 24, then you're going to get into like 48 or something. But the point is that 16 peak fast. That will burn the most amount of weight and you'll be fine. You can eat again. I was on, I think, 17. I then woke up very hungry, and I was like, I could keep going, but honestly, I might stream, so I need to get energized a bit. So I had, like, I think 10 chicken nuggets, spicy chicken nuggets, and then I had 10 spicy chicken nuggets and a Danimals, like a little tiny smoothie Danimal thing. So that was, I think, 450 calories, probably, maybe 500. I normally wouldn't eat just chicken nuggets, but I wasn't gonna cook pork chop, so I had just enough intake where if I don't eat for like another, don't say it, like 6 hours, I'll be in a very big calorie deficit, and I will burn through more, and I'll keep losing weight without even really doing much. Now, sitting here talking and moving my fingers and moving around does burn calories. Not that much, but puts me in a calorie deficit for sure. And I'm burning way more than just like laying in bed or something. So yeah, I saw it pop up. I didn't see it though. But so right now I'm in that mindset. I need to not eat. It's so hard because it's like, oh, I just want some cheese fries. And I've been thinking about these cheese fries, these one cheese fries for like a month now. I was right next to it. I could have got it, but it would have been one meal. I went, I don't need it. I had to just suppress my taste buds because I have like OCD. So when I think about something, it gets in my head and rattles in my head for like hours and hours, and then I can kind of almost like taste it in my mouth, like it has like the want, not the taste, it wants it really bad. So I'm like, oh, I need cheese fries so bad, and anything else kind of makes me sick. Or if I eat something way too much of something I love, I then eventually get sick of it. That's the other side effect of ADHD and OCD. Is you just obsess over something, and like you overeat it, and then like you're sick of it. But these cheese fries, I keep thinking about them. My mouth is watering. That's crazy. But I'm just trying my best not to break into that. Like even yesterday, I didn't even care about going to the buffet. I just want to hang out with my friend, and he didn't have a buffet for a bit. He got into a car accident recently, so I'm like, let's just go chill at the buffet. We'll hang out, it'll be fun. And we had a good time. But yeah, I semi regret it after, but then I didn't eat the rest of the day. So like, even if I ate like 1,500 calories that day, that's all I had compared to if I had two big meals or two decent sized meals and they were like 700 calories each. It would have been about the same. And I had a lot more sushi than I would, so it was like it wasn't like as much fried food, so that's better than having only fried food and then a whole bunch of sushi. Man, I want sushi now. Man, I want to go to the buffet again. I fucking love the buffet. It's because you get to have a little bit of everything. You have a little bit of everything. So I think being able to stream again will probably help me not want to eat. Because if I'm like doing something like playing a game or talking, I can push past the time a lot faster. And I'm not really like, I'm thinking about food, but I'm not thinking about it as bad. I'm hungry, but I can vent about it and complain about it. And then we're good. And then we're goated. I kind of want to go on TikTok. I want to do like an hour on TikTok. I might end the stream in 8 minutes and do a stream on TikTok for a bit. The problem is my mom fucking joins my streams sometimes. I'm like, don't do that. Don't fucking join my streams. The fuck's wrong with you? I don't want to block her. That's kind of mean. I already blocked her on my other account. I'd feel kind of bad. Ooh, I got a delivery update. Please tell me the model kits are moving in the system. Please. I bought the better version of these model kits, and they were shipped out, but they're not moving yet. So like, the guy could just say, "Oh yeah, I shipped them," but he's just sitting there waiting to ship them. Make a new TikTok. That's what I do if I ever get banned. Also, I have to make a new account. But if you can't make a new account, it makes sense too. Hopefully it's not hardware ban. I want this shiny so bad, dude. I want to go for Trapinch, but I have to knock out each Trapinch. It'll take forever, and I don't want to. And it's only single battles, so I don't really feel like I want to do that. Yeah, I think soon I'll probably funnel a lot of my live streams to TikTok for Pokemon, because YouTube does pretty decent nowadays if you stream like this, but I don't know. Like if you use this type of method of streaming, it's better. It gets you in the algorithm more so than if you're just streaming normally. But also, you get paid better on TikTok if you do the right stuff. The problem is I just don't like the community on TikTok. You can't say crap, and I just fucking hate the TikTok community. Fucking babies, dude. Way more libtard, too. I can't even, like, joke, dude. I can't even make a joke. Can't make a joke on TikTok. People crucify you. But I love the stacks and the style of TikTok. It's a lot hard. You don't have to, like, make a real thumbnail compared to, like, YouTube. You have to make a thumbnail for videos, and there's no discoverability unless you're streaming, like, this type of way. So, I don't know, man. I gotta think. I like the Pokemon, some Pokemon music, not all. The other day I was listening to music while driving for Pokemon. It just kind of like went in the back of my head, the Swords of Justice theme. Dude, I started speeding a bit. I started taking corners I shouldn't be taking as fast. I ran a red light, maybe. I'm not saying I did. I'm saying maybe I did, because I did, and it was awesome. It was awesome. No, I couldn't stop in time, and I wasn't gonna test my brakes. My brakes were saying there's problems with them, so I just went faster, and it turned red, and I was under it. But it did help me having that music. I felt cool. It's so good, dude. That and the Team Rocket music is awesome. God, I love Team Rocket, man. Rainbow Rocket was a tragedy. I'm happy that nothing really happened with that. I like the idea of Rainbow Rocket being a thing, but the red and black and gray are what it really sits. Red, black, gray, and white. Those are the main tenets of Team Rocket. Anything else sucks unless it's purple. If they make a purple Team Rocket, oh, we're winning. Oh, we're winning. Yep, we're winning. But yeah, I'm just not like a Team Rocket dude. I'm not a Rainbow Rocket dude. Let me think. I really want to see some. I just want to see a game being Team Rocket. That'd be so goated, dude. That'd be so cool. A snag 'em game would be awesome as Team Rocket. Gosh, I would love that. Just whoops. Have you slowly take over Kento, then all the other areas. Slowly build up bases. Oh my, could you imagine? That'd be so awesome. You start off in the area above Pallet Town at the gym, and it's all worn down and shabby, and that's like your operating base. And then you slowly go through and you get more money, which then you can buy upgrades to the base. But every once in a while, people will try to raid it because people might know that you're a bad guy or something like that. So then you have to set up defenses, like pretty much like auto battlers. Or maybe it's like they come there to challenge the gym. If you don't have a strong enough like companions and teammates and Pokemon that you caught, then they'll win and take more money from you. So then you can't develop the gym more. That'd be the better thing. Because getting raided by the cops, I think they just would keep sending more SWAT teams. But having something like that, to where you're secretly running a base under a gym, that the guys of a gym, and each time you're trying to increase, and you could change the type of gym it is. Start at a normal gym. There's a lot of normal Pokemon over there. Then you can turn into a grass gym if you want. Bro, that'd be freaking sweet! And then you can keep building more buildings, and each city can build a building that gets influence, which then garners you money and gets you power. So you eventually can have a stronghold in each city. So then you have a political party for Team Rocket. Oh, that'd be goated, dude. Why can't they do that? Why can't they make cool games? Once you take over Kento, you leak into Johto. You slowly start over again, but it's a bit more complex. You already have a little stronghold in there. This will be an alternative timeline where you win as Team Rocket. This whole entire time, you're developing Mewtwo, and this is before he breaks out. So you have to go to other countries to get their research to make armored Mewtwo, and you can make... Oh my god, man, this would be freaking cool, dude. Why can't we have cool games? Why can't we have cool world building, Pokemon catching, thieving games? Gosh darn it, dude. If I become a billionaire, we're making this game. We're making the coolest... If I become a billionaire, we're making the coolest game ever. Yeah, I know there are fan games, but I mean, actual... I don't think a fan game ever had something like that, like I just explained. I mean, if they did, that'd be cool, but I don't want to play a fan game because it's probably not, polished well enough. But I know they have the Team Rocket fan games. I know you can beat them, especially the Gen 1 they have. But I want, a real game that, has, the Arceus playstyle where you can throw a Pokeball. I want to be able to have a whip and go around whipping Pokemon that deal extra damage while my Pokemon battles for me. I want to have it to where I can, do a quick menu that I hold down a trigger, which then drops down 4 options of an attack that he'll continuously use over and over again when he can. Well, then I can also implement my own attacks onto the Pokemon, so we can tag team him. If I want to switch him from stop using Hydro Pump, I just pop the trigger down and it switches to a grass attack. Simple like that. Simple. It doesn't have to be a complex battle system. Just something fun. And it can get complex, but the point is I want something fast-paced, something cool. But we don't have something like that where it's an Arceus style. I don't want normal Pokemon style, but that'd be kind of I guess normal Pokemon style could be cool too, but I want to be able to start off at the second place in right above Pallet Town in Gen 1 and slowly take over all of Kanto and slowly have it to where I change the populace with sympathies for me. And I do it on the guys to be able to catch any Pokemon you want with the Master Ball. New pharmaceuticals that can help slowly, make people healthy, but also there's a minor part to it where maybe there's some controllability to it, maybe there's something that makes you, maybe it's just not, maybe it just actually makes you more healthy, and that just gains your trust because at least you made him healthy. Who cares if we give all control over to this guy? At least he made us healthy. I mean, who cares if he's a dictator? He made us healthy. Who cares if we take over the whole entire world and bend it to our will? At the end of the day, he made my grandpa, who was dying of cancer, healthy again. That. We need stories like that where it gives a purpose. Where it's I have to give me a reason to not want to hate this guy and feel bad about hating him, because they are doing horrible things. They are slaving Pokemon, using them as tools rather than as treat them as animals. Give us something like that. I want something so good like that, but we'll never get that. Fan made maybe, but who knows? Pokemon Survival Game. Oh, I've never seen that one. But I also don't follow. A Pokemon Survival Game could be cool. I don't really like survival games. I get scared. I think what's the one game that's goated? That's not Pokemon, but Pal World. That has starts to making a good game I'm talking about. That has the start of making a good Team Rocket take over the world type game where it has a good foundation. Has build, he can build stuff, so I'll add into it. Oh fuck! I just stabbed myself with what the fuck? It was a nub from a model kit. This just stabbed in my foot. That fucking hurt. Yeah, Pal War's fun. I just feel it's not there's no general purpose for it, so I don't like it. There's no general actual grand goal. It's kind of just it's like Minecraft. They just kind of put you somewhere and go, hey, check this out. There's lore, but not really, and not really fleshed out in a good way. Maybe now it is. I meant in general when it first came out. I don't follow it anymore. Did it sell 32 million units, Pal World? If so, that's fucking insane. That's insane because some Pokemon games don't sell that much. Granted, it's on all systems, so it makes sense. Oh, I know. I played Pal World. I like Pal World. I just got bored of it because there's no true objective. It's Ark and Minecraft type of feeling with Pokemon. Yeah, it's a cool idea. I think it's a cool idea, but it'll never actually be something that's going to be top tier for a while. I just know it was really popular. I had a lot of fun playing it for 4 days straight, and I was this game kind of boring. I don't want to play it no more. There's no purpose. There's no purpose in actually playing this game. But they actually gave a lot of purpose to Pokemon, making them have special typing to where they can power stuff and whatnot, and a lot of Pokemon had purposes. They didn't just kind of the shinies were kind of dumb how they were set up. I didn't like it. That's what also made me not really care. Oh, I didn't know they actually beat the patents. That's good. Good. As they should. I think the idea of Pal World's wicked. I love that guns and all that and weapons are implemented. Crossbows. I like a lot about Pal World. That's funny. That normally doesn't really happen. Nintendo mostly always wins. But they were just dumb trying to sue. Just because a Pokemon looks like it doesn't mean they have, one of the pals. Just because it somewhat looks like it, and copies a lot of the idea of it, how it looks, it's still changed enough. Yeah, it'll probably get banned in Japan. They probably won't let it fly in Japan, honestly, because they're very particular there. Is a Pal World, it's an English company, or is it a non-Japanese company? Because the Japanese government might actually just ban it. Because Pokemon's its own economy over there as well, and you don't want to like, you don't fuck with that economy. You don't take away from it. You don't take away from that. I see Slowdope's trying to reply, like message in the Discord. I can't even do it anymore. Can't even reply there. Oh, it is Japanese. I thought it was I thought it was like some type of American or like European one, which is even crazier. That's Japanese because that's fighting in your own territory, which it's fair. You know they had Digimon, but but Palworld's really close to being like Pokemon clone on some of the Pokemon. Which honestly, there's 1,000+ Pokemon. You should have some lineage, like it's fair. But I'm actually surprised it's Japanese. I thought it was like something like from like Europe or US. With it being like Arc and whatnot and similar to. That's crazy. So they might not block it in Japan. They might just, have a bad taste in people's mouth. People love Pokemon in Japan. It's like their whole entire personality of people. Yeah, Japan has really rough copyright stuff, from my understanding. Honestly, a part of me kind of thinks copyright's stupid. Because, like, I've seen so many companies make action figures, and they're official companies that license out to another company, or they run that company and they make the action figures, like SH Figure Arts, and they make dog shit figures that are horrible. And then a third company that doesn't have a license to print it will make their own figure, and it'll be 100 times better. So personally, me, it's like, I'm not making anything like that's like a TV show or nothing. So I'll never be that type of guy. So do you know what? It's not going to affect me. So fuck it. Who cares? Copyright's dumb. I know it's important because people make art and whatnot, and people might be able to do art just a different way and get more attention than the actual artist, and copyright's important. But at the same time, I'm like, come on, man. Come on, like, if you're not gonna make good stuff, then you don't deserve to have the IP. That's how I kind of feel like sometimes. Like, if I made Pokemon, I would personally be ashamed of where it's at right now, game-wise and whatnot. But you have to also think the person that made Pokemon, like those group of people, they're older now. They don't really care. They never, they're kind of like, oh, well, it's just doing good because people are happy. I'm doing a good job. They're not as deep into it. They don't actually play Pokemon. Like, they might play a game here or there when it comes out. They're not actually playing Pokemon. The shareholders don't care about Pokemon. They care about the money they get from Pokemon. Yeah, that's why it's kind of crazy having people that run a board that don't actually like the game or know about the game deeply, and they only see numbers. That's why a lot of stuff goes like tanks, like, and businesses get destroyed because they get shareholders that only know that, oh, it did good this way, but I don't know why it did good that way. You know what I mean? So they just don't get it. Yeah, I want a 3D printer. I thought about it. 3D printer's cool. You could print out Chris money. I could just use a normal printer to print out Chris money. Chrissy bucks. With 3D printers really good print money. Once you know how to make it. The stuff. The problem is you can also just buy STL files and print other people's creations and sell it on secondary websites or sell it at like a store you would own. You don't even need to be like an artist to print it out. Dude, I'm getting tired. Okay, I got 2 more minutes here, and then I'm gonna go live on TikTok. Hopefully it'll be okay. TikTok's so stupid. I probably won't get any views, which is fine. Because they get you have to do certain settings and it's a whole entire mess. And it's really stupid. I want to build Exodia pretty soon. Probably do it tomorrow or next day. Amazon gift cards. Amazon's gift cards are actually super good because I use a lot. I actually use so much for Amazon. I spend about $200 to $300 a month on Amazon for my business. I always have to buy bubble wrap, papers, all that type of stuff. But sadly, I'm not I don't do 3D modeling. I don't know how to do 3D modeling. And yeah, but I use the way I use a credit card that lets me pay it off in 6 months. So I only had to just say I spent $100. I only had to pay $15 a month for the next 6 months. So that's how I'm able to buy the stuff I need in advance. But it is really, like, I love Amazon gift cards. That's like my a huge support for me if I were to start getting those through donations. I used to get those in donations here and there. People would donate them. Because fucking, I can just buy all the material I need and save my money, or I can buy new like things for my channel. Yeah, you can. I just don't like when I buy a 3D printer. I want it to be really good. If I'm gonna spend the money, I want it to be like a one that's like $1,000 at least. I don't want to spend less than like 1,000 because I just want something that's really good, really easy or simplistic, or that can do everything. I don't want one that's gonna possibly like have a little bit of problems here and there. So I'm very half and half. Yeah, Steam's okay. I just don't play video games enough to like play Steam, and I just don't like playing video games, so that's why I don't like Steam gift cards. Because like, what am I going to use it for? A game, but like I don't play video games, and most of the games I play are on Xbox Game Pass. That's my biggest problem I have with like getting Steam cards. It's still cool, but it's just I'm not a gamer like I used to be. When I was a kid, I was a gamer. Now I'm just a shiny hunter if I do, and I'm just a casual, maybe play once in a while. And it's not like, even if the game's fun, I still just don't want to play it because I just don't care about gaming like I used to. Like when I was a kid, I was achievement hunter, bro. I would only do that nonstop. I would only achievement hunt. I would play a game. I'd play Halo and whatnot. But I mean, like, I was addicted to getting achievements. That was my satisfaction from the game. It was fun to learn the story, beat it. But once I actually got all the achievements, or most of them, I was like, that was awesome. I move on to the next game. After I couldn't play and get achievements like I used to, I pretty much stopped achievement hunting. So I went, this sucks. And I kind of like didn't really care for games as much. And then I got into Pokemon. Like, I've always been a Pokemon. That's why I got into shiny hunting. When I first got... How you doing, by the way, Demon Wrath? I have a stroke right there. Demon's Wrath. I first got a Pokemon. I was a kid. Everyone else like loved it. First time I actually got to play it. My sister, for her birthday, got a Game Boy Color. Got Pokemon Red. And she only got those just to spite me. Just to piss me off. Played it. And would like purposely like lose and not do too good. And then never played it again. So one day I snuck it. I stole it. I deleted her file. I played it. And then she, I think, got angry, but then I don't care. She only did, I think, literally just to spite me. She got Pokemon Red and Tom and Jerry. That Tom and Jerry game fucking sucked. It made no sense. Yeah, I always make sure I do research before I buy anything expensive, or even just in general. I try to get like at least one of the best that's within reason. I get the best within my price range. Because I'd rather have something that's phenomenal than something that's okay that was going to cause me problems. But sometimes the more expensive stuff is more complex and a lot harder to learn and use, so it's not always the best option. It's not. I want a resin. I don't really want a 3D printer. I want a resin 3D printer. I want a resin printer. That's what I really want. Resin is cooler. You can make action figures with it. You can do a lot. Like, actually, like, high-quality action figures like that are a lot more articulated and look really good. But resin printers are a lot more complex, and it sucks. Dude, I'm tired, dude. Yeah. You have to worry about the fumes and the curing, and you have to use UV lights sometimes. You gotta use a filtration system, ventilation system. It is a mess. So you have to dedicate a whole entire room just for that, to make sure that it's properly vented, or else you're gonna be sussed. You know what I'm saying, man? You get that joke, man? No, I'm kidding. That was bad. I think I'm gonna go on TikTok in a second now. I'm getting tired. If I can just push through another hour on TikTok, another half an hour on TikTok, I'll be happy. Man, I wish Legends ZA. I wish it just was more goated. I feel like it's not gonna be what I want it to be. And I think I'm still gonna have some fun with it, but not as much as I could. Like, it's even because even Legends Arceus, I had a ton of fun, but even that game was like extremely lackluster, and led me to like kind of going, this game could have been so much better. Complain the whole time still. We just need a fast polish. Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, I agree. It just so happens that most of the good ones are, resin. Resin, you can paint it a lot easier. There's a lot more complexity to it. And you don't need to, with resin, you don't really need to, like, use sandpaper as much, if not even at all most of the time. A lot of times you have to, like, grind it down so it doesn't have those weird rings and whatnot. Resin's a lot more cleaner looking, too. Much easier to paint resin as well. Ugh. Okay, let's do 2 more encounters. End the stream. Gonna go stream on TikTok. Probably won't get any views for Pooh, which is fine. But it is what it is. Had a decent amount of viewers today. A lot of people stopped by. That was awesome. Very much appreciate the people that stopped by. Okay, 1 more set of encounters. I don't think I got Blitzel. I feel like I know I got like a Patrat and I got Pidove, but I don't think I got Blitzel. I remember when I got Yanmei. Oh my god, when I got that in the grass, that was insane. Was it a single encounter? I can't remember if it was a single or double encounter. It was in double encounter grass, but I don't remember if it was a single or double encounter in general. Come on, let me get into a little battle. There we go. Okay. I'm heading out. Thanks for stopping by. See you later. Soul, thanks for chatting with me. Have a good day. Bye-bye.